Yeah. This is the Session Up Podcast. I'm Phil.
Session Up. It's your boy Danny. What's up, man?
What's up? What's good? What's cracking?
What's popping?
What's popping, bro?
Brand new whip just hopped in.
Ooh, okay now.
Got options.
Hey, multiple options. Speaking of options, no, I'm just kidding. We got the big bro.
The big Brody.
We got our mentor.
Yo.
His name, also goes by Bivs. Sonny Roth Miller.
Okay.
BG.
Okay.
And also the big homie Brandon Glasgow.
Mr. Glasgow.
In the house.
What's
Let's
up,
go,
B?
baby.
B, man.
Man, this has been a long time coming.
It is.
Yeah.
Man, it's
Yeah.
good, though. It's good.
Yeah, get closer to the mic, B.
It's good to be out here with y'all,
There
man.
we go.
You know, I
Hell
always
yeah.
love.
Yeah, man. It's been a while since we seen you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool ass minute.
Cool ass, man. How like it's been a couple of years? A year, 2 years?
Nah,
A year?
Nah,
a year?
I seen you last year, right?
A year
When
ago.
I went out
A
to
year
San
ago.
Francisco.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like 2 years
Oh,
ago.
that's
Oh,
right.
it's 2
You
years
came
ago.
out, so
2
yeah,
years ago.
I seen
That was 2
you.
years ago. But
Yeah.
you came down to visit us like a year ago. We went out to go eat and stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we always getting sushi and shit, getting
Yeah,
turned
yeah.
up with sake.
Some Korean barbecue, some Asian food.
Barbecue.
Whenever
Yes, we
B's
did Korean barbecue.
hey, whenever B's around us, he's always down to eat some Asian food.
Hell yeah.
He's always down.
That's how I learned.
Hey, I think in his past life, he was probably Cambodian for
He
sure.
was, bro, for sure. He's definitely a Cambodian.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He likes what do you call it? Twaco.
Oh, yeah.
Twaco. Remember that's like that sausage? Is
Oh,
that
yeah,
Cambodian
yeah,
sausage?
Yeah.
You love that?
Yeah.
That's how you know he's Cambodian. I don't even like it.
Ricky used to make all this stuff too.
Yeah. How you been, man? How's everything?
Man, it's good, man. It's good to be out. Everything's changing in the world, but hey, I'm
100%.
not complaining.
Yeah.
I think I'm blessed. There's still a lot of great things going on, so it's no complaints.
No
Man,
complaints.
you always got something going on, bro.
Yeah, exactly, man. When does he not
Stay
have something
moving,
going on?
man.
Yeah, definitely love.
If y'all didn't
Stay
know,
moving.
man, this BG inspired.
Big G
Check the
inspired.
fits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ambition.
Check out the cap.
Yeah.
Check out the fit. Also, we always repost his inspirational quotes on our Instagram. So whenever you see that inspiring quote in yellow, that's from him.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate the
You
repost.
you see the boat, man. We consider him Zeus out here.
it's Zeus. Damn.
He throwing them lightning bolts to y'all.
Like Zeus.
That's very godly.
Lightning bolts of motivation.
Godly man here. Godly man. But in case you guys don't know, man, B, he's been like one of our big bros, our mentor, someone
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we've always been like looking up to and always been inspired by.
Yep.
Hence the name BG Inspired.
Yep.
But man, let's go. Let's start from the beginning, man. Before you even met us, I mean, we'll get into like how you met us and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
let's start with
What's that story, bro?
what's your story, bro?
My
Because
story.
even now we don't even know your story, bro. We just know when we met you, you've been a big bro to us, but we don't
Yeah.
even know your story
He
before that,
went
bro.
to get milk and never came back.
Allegedly,
We'll get into that later, but yeah, man. What
man.
were you like as a kid?
What was I like as a kid? I will say, I was ambitious. I was that kid who, I was always looking at kind of like just business aspects. I was the kid who thought about, how to kind of like make money in a sense.
Yeah.
Of course, I played sports. I was athletic, all that, my whole family. But, I always had like that business mind. I remember looking at we did like a family reunion. I don't know, and everyone made like a book, and at the end of it, they had all the kids and stuff, and they were just saying like, they looked at me like, oh, he's gonna do like some business stuff, you know what I mean, on that tip.
Yeah.
Oh, like
Okay.
those games things for kids to choose.
Yeah, well, they just chose for us.
Oh,
Yeah,
they chose
for you
Yeah,
guys.
but,
Really?
I didn't know this, and I looking back, I like found it going through these old albums in my mom's thing. I was
Oh,
like, oh, that's
okay.
interesting. Like, so kind of like I guess I've always been like that, or had that type of energy where
Yeah.
people were like, okay, like he's thinking very differently,
For sure, 100%.
Like I would go at recess, and I remember, we'd play football and all that sports, but then I remember like little things would come out, like cards or whatever it was, could be.
Some pogs.
Pogs came out
Marbles.
too,
Yeah.
yeah, anything. And I was over there getting money off it, you know what I mean?
Damn,
trying to flip this?
hustling,
Yeah.
hustling
Yeah.
since the third grader, huh?
Yeah. I
Nah, I see.
remember one time I was called in the office. This kid bought some stuff, and I guess his parents got mad, and they were just like, well, why'd you sell it to him for so much? And I was like, well, why'd he buy it for so much? Like, they got very mad. It was really
Hey,
mad.
man.
that's hard, bro.
Hey, the
seen
person that purchases sets the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they put the value on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be honest, I feel like they were trying to stifle, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
Suppress my business. I
Oh,
ain't
okay,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Let's try to hold you back, huh?
They were. But yeah, I mean, prior to that too, I think it was I was doing sports.
What were you playing?
I was playing football, so I played football.
Position?
Cornerback.
Okay.
Cornerback?
Yeah, high school was
Damn.
cornerback, wide receiver, punt returner, all that, kick returner.
Okay.
Out in college, I did a cornerback.
In college?
Yeah, college. Yeah.
What'd you play?
I went to El Camino actually. I did
Okay.
that, and I transferred.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I transferred up to another school, Western Washington. So I was out there, and then, everything went kind of, things went all crazy as they can do. That's another story. We won't get too long. But in the midst of that, long story short, I ended up meeting someone who kind of got me focused, and that's why I entered the wireless game and all that stuff.
Okay.
At that time, just I was pretty lost and didn't know what I was doing. Off the team, everything. It was pretty wild.
So
but this guy,
you had a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, this was in Seattle?
Yeah. But it was out. I was in the outskirts. I was in the cuts, man.
Out there.
Far, yeah. No one coming to visit me. Very left alone. So I'm okay being alone.
Seattle is like, from what I heard, is like I've never been there, but it's always like it rains a lot over there, and it's like dark. It's always cloudy, gloomy.
Yeah. So it's very cloudy and gloomy. Back in the day, it was far worse.
Get you closer to my.
People like doing people there'd be craziness. You know what I mean? Like suicide stuff like that.
Oh,
suicide is very common.
I heard it was like one of the
shit.
highest suicide rates over there because a lot of people. I'm not saying but I heard like a lot of people are depressed over there because of the weather is always dark and gloomy and
Where?
rainy.
In
Seattle.
for real?
So it has one of the highest suicide rates in the United States.
Damn.
Besides like Japan and stuff. But.
So
Jeez.
Washington, you got to get some sunshine now. Due to all the global warming, there's a lot more sunshine.
Hey, I'm glad you're still here though.
I am too.
I'm glad you didn't go that route though.
I am too, man.
Hell yeah.
It can get bad. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like there's plenty of those stories.
Yeah, for sure. And then you ended up coming out here to California, right?
So how that happened too, that was just like, so anyone that knows me too, I was the kid, like I spent a lot of childhood out here.
Yeah.
My dad is originally from, here, Los Angeles, California.
Oh, really? Okay.
My mom is from Washington. So
Got it.
we would travel out here and it was kind of like, they would just drop me and my brother off and we were out, running around.
Damn, just like what you did to me and Danny, right?
Yeah. Don't listen to this.
Hey, so little backstory. Yeah, with us, right? B was he was a regional manager at AT&T, and
Let's have B tell this story.
Yeah, tell that.
Let's have B tell this story.
You want me to go deep?
But
you
he's not even
can
done
go ahead.
explaining his own story yet.
So-
you can finish. My bad.
Yeah.
So I met these guys. So after that, there's an opportunity to come out here. Long
But
story short,
weren't you in the Bay first before you came out to this area?
no. So I did come back. I was out in the Bay for a little bit, and I came back here.
Okay.
But being out in Washington, I rose up in the ranks. So basically, after that, I latched on the wireless. Long story short, started off real low, sales associate, all that. Ended up working myself up, being a top manager, and then I was the first sales trainer for them.
Yeah.
So when I became the sales trainer, they actually had locations all up and down the West Coast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were like, hey, you can come out to Los Angeles.
Right.
And of course, I was like, okay, let's do it. So
that's
they
dope.
took care of everything. I came out here. That's when I started at the company I was at. Ended up leaving that after a while. Things happen, get terminated. Another story.
Another
Hey,
story.
it happens, man. The real ones bounce back.
Yeah.
This
facts,
is before MSW?
facts.
No, so this was MSW.
Okay.
So then from there,
Well, you can't go too far because MSW is when you met us. So
yeah. Well,
so let's build to that.
well, no, it Twisted wasn't it Mobile Magic then?
Was it? It was right. It got
It
bought out.
got bought out. That's why.
Okay. MSW got bought
Man,
out by.
that wireless game is crazy.
So in case people don't know, we're talking about like the cell phone kiosk days back in the mall when you probably got harassed by one of us before. That's what we're talking about.
Big facts. Hawkers.
So yeah, man.
Yeah, so by then it was like, all right, I came out, I worked, actually after that, that's when I was back in the Bay. Moved to the Bay, got out there with some people, started learning like the mortgage game and all that stuff during the collapse. It was crazy. All
Then
that was
the
going
recession
on.
time?
Yeah, the recession.
That was a
time.
what?
And during that
What was
time,
that?
we were working
09,
at
2010?
2007,
2007? Was it? Okay.
2009.
Was that about right?
Somewhere
One of
around
those
that
years
time.
when the market
That's when like
crashed. Yeah.
that's when it's really bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
We were still
crash.
kids.
So,
Yeah, you were still kids. We didn't even care.
Still
Like,
little adolescents.
oh, okay.
kinda.
Recession?
Like, fuck.
It's cool.
Yeah.
What is that? Cell phone was good.
Still making my minimum wage.
Yeah,
No. So it's cool. I was young.
surviving.
Yeah.
So I did that, but during that, got a call to come back. and that's when I ended up meeting these guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we've all been waiting for is you know, the juicy part is when you met us. So tell us a little bit about how you met us and like what were your first thoughts, and we'll go into that.
Oh man, so let me tell you. All right,
thoughts.
so
what are your thoughts?
Look at these little bastards.
These little ghetto Asian kids over here.
They gave me these locations from Lakewood, Cerritos. I may have had like Pack View, Panorama, but long story short, these guys were in Long Beach. I was living in Long Beach at that time too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you had the condo in Long Beach already.
Yeah. When I came out here, I had a condo in Long Beach, could see everything. You know what I mean? I loved everything. Came back. The guy's like, hey, I want you to take over these locations. They didn't buy it out yet, but then they later bought it out. When I got the extra locations, I met these guys.
SMH.
Phila was on something different. Danny was on something different. But it was, it reminded me of myself. I'm not going to lie. So, like, Phila was super serious. He was always serious. Mm-hmm. Well, I seen he could be serious. And when he was serious and focused, that was, like, his biggest strength.
Yeah. Cool.
Danny probably didn't know it back then, but he was, like, a real natural leader. And that's what really drew me to him, and that's what drew me to Phila. So Phila at one point, honestly, I thought I was gonna have to fire him. He was just this guy was super lost, man. Just leaving the store, and
I remember that.
And I get it. Like we didn't know each other.
I was just honestly because when you took over, because I was already working at that company, and then you took over. So like one day they just said, "All right, you guys got new managers, you guys got new district managers, you got new employees coming into your kiosk." And like for me, it kind of like at the age of 19, I was lost and confused. And I was like, "What the hell is this, dude? I don't want to be here." Like, who was this guy coming in and taking over and telling us what to do? You know what I mean? Like, no one likes that. So I was just like, I was already kind of like standoffish. I was like, just kind of like, man, I don't want to hear your shit.
Yeah, he was like getting my speeches.
Basically,
that guy in the back.
That's funny, yo.
But I get it too. At the same time, I mean, like, to manage that, there's a certain, like, I would say, like the energy, the swag, the kind of like the demeanor you have to have is like it's hey, this is what we got to do, and you need to make sure people are on that. So I was able to break through with him, though, actually.
Yeah. Eventually.
Which was, eventually. And side story turned out great. You know what I mean? Yeah. Manager, top guy, all that. Yep. And then on the other side, before we even got to, like, any of what they could do as far as greatness, it was meeting. So Danny was, he was wilding out a little bit. I get this call, just, you know what I mean? So I get this call, right?
For sure.
Oh, damn, I know where it's going to.
These stores, and I get this call, and basically, like, I'm not gonna say it was like one of those collect calls you get where you have like an type thing,
it was a collect call.
Yeah, someone you have to
press one. If you'd like to accept the collect.
Would you like to accept this collect call from?
He's like, shit, I don't know if I should go with 2 or 1. Damn.
So Danny's on the other line. Basically, he had gotten into some stuff. Long story short, he had gotten some stuff, but that wasn't what was important to me because at that point it was like, okay. Yeah, just terminate the kid, I guess.
Honestly, I was surprised that you took it in such a positive way.
I felt like that was kind of like a turning point in my life, kind of too, because
you were lucky.
I was in trouble.
Yeah,
and then I had a job.
Yeah, and you could have
got in trouble during work.
Yeah, and you could have came back without a job.
Yeah, because I called. I was like, "Yo,"
but thank God, B was like, he was our boss.
First thing B asked me, "What happened?" And then I told him what happened, and I could tell he was just like, "Okay." Like,
it's understandable. It's
he's a real one. He did that shit
like,
because he's a real one. It was like, all right, so that. Then he was like, all right, I'm gonna move you. Boom, got moved. Then that's when I started taking shit seriously.
That's when we switched because I was at Cerritos, you were at Lakewood.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, he moved both of us. We just swapped places because we can't both work together.
Yeah, exactly. So B was like I think business wise, I think he helped put us in a really good position. Like I was saying when we were speaking with Frank, like we were like little lost kids, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're 19, 18 years old.
Yeah. And
we were young, making good money. So we were just like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Young kids making good money. So
yeah. So I mean, that was the biggest thing, man. Like you just really, put us in a good spot. Like, I do thank you for that 100%.
Oh yeah,
bro.
for sure. 100%.
And
always.
No, definitely. I mean, I think
crazy.
Just like the stuff that I've been through too, the relation to stuff like that. It was to make a long story short, how he handled it. He really handled it like a leader because they gave him an option where it was like, hey, I was involved, but they kind of don't have him necessarily on it, and he could go free. But he's like, nah, my guy did it with me, I was there too, so I'm just as guilty. Even though you want to say like, oh, well, I didn't do all this and that, like, so I'm, I got to stay here too.
Facts.
And that's hard to do, and like, I'm not gonna get into all the extra stuff of it, but that was something I seen. Like, okay, like this guy's like, he's a leader. He backs his friends. There's loyalty, and like my mindset with those types of things is very, very important. You know, especially in business.
Yep.
You know, business can be it can. You know, I've seen a lot of things go left. You know, some things can get really real.
Facts.
On like like more of a serious like life or death type thing, but. Being able to see that because of the stuff that I've been through in the past, it right away, it made me, it drew me closer. Like, okay, let's make some moves with this. And a lot of times too, like I'm really big into kind of developing people and coaching.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because I had some great coaches growing up. To be honest,
sure.
I had some really great coaches.
And that you know, like what you just said right now. I mean, that basically passed down to me and Danny because I feel like, you know, us. I mean, you know, we don't want to be cocky, but I mean, I think we're both, you know, good leaders. And, you know, that only comes from us, you know, getting that mentorship from someone above us that taught us those things. So,
yo, this boy cocky as hell, man.
this guy I think he's a great leader. Damn.
Hey,
but,
but
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's the truth, though, man. Like, you know, when you have good leaders, it teaches you to become a good leader. So.
Yeah, B. So, I mean, I know you touched on having a lot of mentors, you know, great people that kind of looking out for you, too. How would you describe your personal style?
Always, you know, since I was young, I mean, I'm not afraid to work hard.
Yeah.
And that's something like I always took pride in, and that came from my pops. I mean, my pops was always like, you know, work hard. You know, you know, my pops, like, he worked really hard to get where he was at. I mean, this guy was small, but he had heart. And everyone that I like met around him would always be like, man, he got heart and he can hit hard. My pops played ball.
Yeah.
My pops was like, you know, one of the smallest guys, but he played all the positions, running back, high school, all
was
that.
Killing though, yeah.
Ended up going to
like
UW, and he just like elevated from there. He played in the league, but like when people like looked at him, and when I'm around them, they were just like, man, like they have a lot of respect for him, just how he handled himself.
For sure.
And he always stood up for people too.
Yeah,
like he was a guy during a lot of times, like when they were doing the walkouts and all that, he stood up.
Yeah,
and you know, I remember he kind of got like blackballed from like a team and two, and he had to go,
real? Oh,
you know,
shit.
and that's what actually, because before that we were in Indiana. For that, you know, so so I had some time there in Indiana. Then we went to Washington, you know, and he had the connects there because it was like UW and all that.
Where were you born?
So I was actually born in Washington. I was born in Washington, but I've been
you've been moving
Indiana.
You've been moving around a lot. Growing up and stuff, huh?
A
lot of that.
Yeah, so it was a lot of that, but I think that all stems from it. You know, I like to study people who are good, so I definitely would like to like read a lot and study those who are before me and understand. You know, what makes them tick.
Bro, that's the biggest thing why I read so much. Yeah. Because you actually got us on books. You got me on books. That shit helped me. Like,
I mean, honestly, I didn't read books until you guys on to Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
so before, because this is when we were young, and I never cared about reading books. I never cared about, you know, trying to be inspired or like learn from you know, inspiring people. I never, you know, even thought about that. But one day you told us like afterward, you said, come to my house. I was like, well, what the hell we going over there for? You know, like what is this? You know. And I think it was me, Nanny, and I think Alex. Was it Alex too? I think.
Yeah, Alex.
And you sat us down and you said,
Alex.
Yeah, you sat us down and you're like, we're reading a book today. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, really? And you and this was like off the clock, so this is like, you know,
always trying to challenge, man. I enjoyed it, bro.
No, but at first, you know what I mean? Because I'm not used to someone just like, hey, we're gonna read a book today. Like, what the hell, you know what I mean? But yeah, you sat us down and you know, you had the book Think and Grow Rich, and until this day, I have it here somewhere. But I bought like 4 different copies already because every time I give it to someone to borrow, I never get it back. So this is like my 4th copy.
I have that
already.
Problem too. You give that book away. There's some books that are that good.
It never comes back.
You're not mad at it. You're just like, all right, let me get another one.
That's why I just buy it.
Yeah, man. I just keep buying it. Every time I lose, I keep buying it. But that was such a good book to me, and that was like the first time where I've actually been inspired from reading a book. And that book taught me so much, and I've learned so much from that book. And but it was just crazy how you sat us down and you said, hey, look, we're reading this book. And you had us go one by one reading like I think a page each or something like that. And like, this is like, you know, we don't do stuff like that. Like, this is not normal for us, you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Which is,
So to me, at that time, I was just like, damn, this guy is he's onto something. You know what I mean? Like, he sees something in us that we don't see in ourselves, man, because who the hell would just sit us down to read a book? You know what I mean? So I was like, man, this guy really cares about us. This guy is really, you know, taking his time.
Do you have any books you suggest anyone to read right now? Or what are you reading on today?
Man, I have a couple. There's an economics book I'm reading. just kind of like the study of economics. It's actually more for like the African American culture economics. There's that one. But if you like just talking about books to recommend,
for someone who maybe just wants to get inspired by something, or maybe just at a time where like they want to start something, but just need some inspiration.
I mean, the only thing I can say is before you can kind of get inspired, is just my thought on that. Learn your history. That's always good to start, because everyone has a history, and there's like a lot of times history, you're not told like the greatness, you might be told only the shit, the bad parts.
Right.
But
exactly.
if you can learn that, and even if it's good or bad, doesn't matter, because you can make your own, you can manifest like, okay, that's what it was in the past, here's where I'm going. Start with that. So, I started doing that, and that led me to other things, like learning about people's struggles. So, like, what I tell people, honestly, and this is what, like, someone told to me, too, like, another dude, business owner, like, really, really successful. The first thing he told me is, like, well, who are you reading about? Like, who's, like, not, like, who's your mentor, like, physically. But he basically was like, you should have a mentor. Like, do you have one and stuff? And he's like, if you don't, get an autobiography. Like, find something you like. It doesn't matter what it is.
Because it's not just a mentor, like physically, like you to us, but like you can have a mentor by just an author of a book or something. That can be your mentor by reading their stuff or following someone or something like that.
Reading or following. I mean, but if you
studying someone,
if you study and read their book, and it's towards something you like, you're gonna find like, oh wow, like, I can see like it's gonna go through their struggles. Like, there's no person that has success without a story of some falling down.
Exactly.
Like, and I've talked to people who are super successful, like, like 30 million, sold this company, did this, whatever. Like, they're sitting on real cash. They all have like, here's the trials of it. And that's what makes it real. And then if you're going through something like that, because we all have those moments, it's going to resonate with you and connect. So I say start with that, and then you'll be able to find like what you like. And once you start finding what you like, that's where the passion can kind of kick in. And then from there, like, of course, right now, great books. I think we talked about that, the Chris Voss right there.
Yeah, Never Split the Difference.
That's just great if you're in any type of sales or psychology where, there is some sort of persuasion. That's a great book for that. I see you have the ancient.
Oh, the ancient Angkor. So that's like the history of like Cambodia.
We're going to have to get some
Angkor
B-rolls
Wat
with this later on.
That's dope. See, like, you're already on your history and stuff. Like, those are all like important, Khaled, I know he's got a great story. These like that. Like,
we got the subtle art of not giving a fuck. And we got Kobe's children's story. It's pretty cool.
Any of those are good. And if you're not like into books, like I know a lot of people now, they're transitioning from it. I'll say this. Books, there's something about reading a book, just like someone will say there's something about like actually taking a pen to a pad. There's a different connection and manifestation from it.
That's true.
That's just me. You know what I mean? You can say that's old school, 100%. Whatever, but I would always try to do that. But podcasts are dope.
Podcasts are good.
Something that I've learned that's elevated me too, especially if you're driving around a lot.
Exactly. Which I like a bar.
You can really just like, you're getting a college course.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what the stuff's from. It's like learning from the past to determine your future. So
I also like doing like audio books, because sometimes, you don't want to like sit in front of a book and read and stuff like that. You can always just put it on like even in a car or something
I don't
like
really
that.
like audiobooks for some reason.
I think when you're
I'd rather hear my voice.
I think when you're reading in your head,
I'd rather read
I think when you're
loud.
reading a book though, I think you can get a little bit more creative when you're actually reading the book though. Like you can imagine it in your head more. I think when you're listening to audio, I mean it's convenient, but I think you're just kind of like just listening to it as it goes. You know what I mean? So that's true though. So
B, when's the last time you had a W-2 job, bro? That just came to my mind. Like you self-employed. You've been self-employed for a minute. I mean, you're a businessman,
Probably since the cell phones, huh?
Yeah.
Well, no, okay. So actually,
he's not a businessman. He's a businessman.
So this is interesting too. So, so the people that don't know, after Wireless was able to get into my own business,
right?
Cell phone repair
let's
shop.
talk about that.
So that
that was your first business after working at the cell phone, was the cell phone repair.
Cell phone
kiosks,
repairs.
right?
Kiosks, yeah. So cell phone repair had several stores.
And you first, let's start off with the beginning. Like, you start off with one, and like, how did you end up, obviously opening up multiple locations? Like, how did that even come about? Like, because that was inspiring when I heard about you doing that. I was like, damn, that's pretty dope.
So we literally had this idea. Me and my business partner, shout out Cal,
Calvin. Yeah.
Me and him met. So when I moved from here, I went to the Bay. So actually, fast forward the story. This is where we're at Mobile Magic. Everything was just changing with that. Terminated, left that job. And from then, that's when I had my son. So at that point, when I had my son, it's like, I already said to myself, I'm going to take some time off to be with him. Yeah. So that was something I already had manifested. I had started writing down kind of like these goals. It was drop an album. It was do this.
Damn, you did that too.
And all of it I did, which was crazy. I literally remember getting fired, figuring out what I got to do. You know what I mean? All this stuff. You know, the world's kind of collapsing a little bit with everything. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm about to have a kid in the middle of all this crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, basically.
Crazy timing, huh?
I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my time off, though, and I'm going to enjoy my time with my kid, the first child that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I wrote down all my goals. I went at that. I wrote on there, you know, I kind of wrote like, you know, I need to like learn business. So I did that first. Mm-hmm. And then I got this call randomly after a while, after, you know, almost a year. This guy calls me from the Bay, and it was because he had heard of me. And he was like, hey, you know, I heard you're really good. I need a manager out here to help me with stuff. He was building up his company.
Okay.
And he did wireless and stuff, so it was right up my alley. So long story short, I was like, cool, I'll be out there. I catch a flight, book it myself. Like, let's meet. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, I'm interested. So I go out there, fly. Obviously, I can see some people out here I know in the Bay or whatever out there.
Yeah.
And when I meet him, good conversation. At the end of the day, we shake hands. Let's do it. I'm like, I'll be back at the end of April.
Damn. So you said, let's do it right away?
Yeah, let's do it.
That first meeting?
He brought me to his locations, literally brought me to his locations. He only had 2 at the time. Okay. Yeah. By the time I left, he was on his way to 15 plus and up. But he was, he had built the right team, did everything moving. But I remember him bringing me to his locations. He brought me to Eastridge and mall in San Jose. And he said, you know, go shop these guys. I go to shop them. And then after he was like, well, tell me about him. Like, what do you think about him? Right with them right there in front of me.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
And, you know, it's not uncomfortable. I just took it like, okay, like, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think.
Yeah.
And I just told him exactly what I think. Not anything bad, but I'm just going to keep it very, like, real and frank. He liked that. Then he said, okay, we're going to go to one more. He's going to go to my other location. So I go there. And this location's kind of busy, packed, you can tell. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it wasn't, like, organized. And he basically looks at me. He's like, well, I know I like you so far. Like, I want to hire you, but, like, can you sell? Oh, I was like, what?
Oh, he's trying to get you on the spot, huh?
Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like,
are you kidding me?
I respect it. Yeah, I respect it. So
yeah.
I remember walking in, and I just said to myself, I'm about to close like the first person I get at. Boom.
Yeah,
so I just did it. You know what I mean? Random guy, didn't know any of the plans, didn't know anything. I did that, and that's what solidified. Like, oh yeah, when you coming back?
Oh, you straight closed him right there.
Yeah, right there. And then I handed it to someone else. Like, here, man, fill this out. Like, we're done. And
let's
just
go.
looked at him. So
that's how you do it.
From there, I went out to the Bay. I did that for a year with him. In the midst of that year, other people came over that I had known from the past of other companies, and he was able to build his stuff up. But that's where I met my business partner, Calvin. We right away, he kind of like you, Philla. He was, you know, he's out of college, doesn't really know what to do, working in wireless. This guy would take mad, you know, cigarette breaks and stuff. And he came from a store where he was good. He was good at a store, but my at the time the VP at the time was like, hey, I'm gonna bring this guy over to you. And I've already got a stacked team. Like, my team is really good, efficient. And he's like, well, I'm like, well, what are we going to do with him? He's like, well, either he's going to be good or we're going to have to let him go. I was like, okay, whatever, bring him over. Long story short, he gets there. He's, like, kind of blown away because these guys are just super operating high level.
Just killing,
And I finally get him. Yeah, and I'm like, hey, man, because he keeps going outside to take breaks. I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, you want to be here or not? Just let me know. It's all good.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I just kind of, like, want to do a business or whatever. And I don't know, it was so crazy. I was like,
just like out of nowhere.
I was like, hey, run with me. Like, we're going to get there. Run with me. You know, because I wrote. So another thing is when I left the dude after he was like, yeah, I want to mess with you. I want you to have you come out here. I went home and I rewrote my goals for that year.
Damn.
In honor, I said, I want to open a business. I didn't say what it was, but it was just like, open your own business by the next year.
Oh, yeah.
And so through all that, me and him had this plan. We did it, you know, interviewed people and figured out like what we were going to go into. Long story short, it ended up being wireless repairs, but we also had like the protection thing. We did that, opened up our first booth. That was kind of crazy because, you know, we got to talk to malls. We got to go in there and get leases.
And it's expensive getting a leasing a spot in a mall, especially.
Oh, man. Yeah, we were all in. I mean, like, we were all in. I was definitely eating ramen. Like, I was like, let's go. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we didn't come in with like, oh my God, we got like all this money to just do this and like see what happens. It was like, I'm all in. Let's go. And and there was a time when we first opened and started. I remember looking at him, and it was super slow because like we were the first ones to do that, especially in the Bay. Like I won't go and say like everywhere, but I definitely say I didn't see it anywhere because
during the cell phone repair.
During the cell phone repair, when we were doing it, I remember going to Washington because I was like, we could always go up there. I didn't see it. I remember going to L.A. We were up at like Culver City, Fox Hill, all the spots I used to know. I didn't see it there. And when we talked to people, they were just like, what? Like, okay, maybe. They didn't really take it serious. But we ended up getting in somewhere out there in the Bay. Shout out, Hayward. That's where we got in first.
Hayward.
Yeah, and we were able to open up. But when we opened up, it was like, imagine like a table like this with 2 poles. And we like put a cloth over it and a box. And it's just us there.
Just grinding,
And, we just started talking to people. And they're like, it's almost like asking people like, hey, I'm a plumber, right? And they're like, yeah, well, my toilet's not messed up. Cool, I'm a plumber though.
Just
have a conversation.
I got you.
But after a while, like, when people start, after we got the first fix, that's when it started blowing up. And it was just me and him there. But I remember the first fix, a guy came over that I had to do. And he was like, can you fix this? And at the time, I hadn't even fixed the phone. Not for a customer.
Shit. Wow.
And, we've been doing the screen just protection.
So you're just like learning as you go.
Screen protection.
Yeah. But I knew it because I practiced, at home. I'm going home to practice in case this comes.
Damn.
And we didn't have a fix so long. I looked at my boy, Cal. I was like, man, maybe we made... maybe we made a wrong decision.
This is like the first day in?
Yeah. No, we're like 21 days in. And people still like, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? And but after we got that first fix, then it started jumping. And then luckily we hired another tech who was really skilled, Anti. This guy, he's gonna be a dope engineer. He's probably gonna design a car for some big company.
Okay.
Super smart. He came, he was helping us out, and we learned. And then we ended up getting someone from the mall. And then I remember a customer was like, hey, Hayward's like huge Latino population, you know what I'm saying? Hispanics. And he was like, hey, you got to get some Hispanics. I can speak Spanish a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can hold it, hold it down a little bit. But we ended up hiring the right people, and then it just started blowing up to the point where other malls are reaching out to us.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Like super
crazy.
far. They're
That's
like reaching out to us.
Wow.
And, then we learned about growing too big. So at one point, we went from that one.
And that's a crazy problem to have.
So you scale, you started
That's
trying
crazy.
to scale, right?
We learned scaling too big is not always good.
Yeah.
What they talk about in the magazines, like, So we went from 1 to, I want to say maybe it was 6. We just started going at malls. We ended up getting a business partner. He started attacking malls and all this. Long story short, it did not work out for so many reasons.
Because this was at the time when like the iPhone 6 was popular?
No.
Was
We
it around that
started
time?
with the 4.
Was it?
We were on the 4. We were on the 4 and we were customizing it for people. We would have dudes who would come in and wanted to match their outfits.
That's like this big.
Was that?
That's the smaller one.
I remember
the glass on both
when
sides.
we were working at the kiosks, weren't we selling iPhone 4s?
Yeah, we were. Bro, we were selling razors.
We started
Of course
off with
selling iPhone 4s.
we started off with the I know, but that was like towards the end. Because from what I remember was like when we left that cell phone kiosk days was like around the iPhone 4 or something like that. But I just remember like the iPhone 6 always had like screen issues, so people were always like replacing screens or customizing it. Yeah. So I mean, you were doing that business around that time where like the iPhone 6s were like people were bringing them in to like switch out the screens and the different things. So
we went from the 4 first to customize it. You can get like the lime green, with the Incredible Hulk. When I want mine to look like Superman, whatever you want. We were doing all that, and then has the 6 and the 5 came, we were changing the colors on that.
That's when it got big, right?
It got more, people are like, oh yeah, I'm really doing it.
People are really into like customizing. And
that's
stuff.
when Apple was starting to think like, when's Apple going to come out with a new color phone?
Yeah.
Later they did.
Yeah.
But bringing that together and just learning that, we scaled too quick.
Yeah. So
infrastructure didn't have it all set up.
So you say you had up to 6 kiosks?
About 6. Yeah.
What was the issue with just expanding too big?
It's money. You know what I mean? Like you're putting a lot of money. Like opening new stores, you have to remember it takes a while to get that profit back. You got to dump money into it, infrastructure, employees, marketing, all the stuff you really may or may not know about.
Exactly.
Generally, I mean, you know about it now after running. But that was something that we had to learn in finances. So we ended up splitting, going back down to 3, and then you start learning other things like in business. People who hold weight can come in and be like, hey, how much are they paying? Oh, I can double it. And matter of fact, I own 4 down here, and I'm in your portfolio. I'm in your company's portfolio already. Let me just do a lease deal with you, and I'll take over all of it like Monopoly.
Damn.
You start learning all that stuff. So people could come and do that. So now we got to make relations with the people who are doing the leasing, which is something we learned later and stuff. So
Okay.
And then from there we ended up like jumping back up, and from there we got back into like About 4 of them. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we did a franchise one, or basically like a owner operated one.
Okay.
Out
Damn,
in
so you guys
Washington.
franchised the location?
Yeah, we did one out in Washington.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's,
How's that process like?
Man.
It's interesting. We thought first, okay, we're supposed to franchise it, and you got to do research on that.
Yeah, of course.
Because
you got they pay you like a royalty fee or something like that, right?
if you do the franchise version, it's stickier.
Yeah,
Legality wise, especially being a California business, there's a lot of red tape, and you really do need a lawyer. So what we did is we took the idea of what the cell phone operators do.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really franchise when you do T-Mobile and all that stuff. You're
authorized
dealer.
Authorized retailer.
Authorized retailer, whatever it is. So we took that approach for it.
God,
that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, and that was that worked best, and from there, they had the relationship, but like we did everything. We like, here, fly you out here. We're gonna train you. We're gonna show you everything. We set it up and just started understanding that stuff.
So people are just kind of really investing in the idea, and they become business owners themselves, right? Just how you guys are setting people up.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Just understand and become the idea of that, and then around there, everything starts to change with the climate and being just business minded, looking at stuff. Things start to change, and we start seeing it from saturation, rents going up. When we first started, our rent maybe was like, I think, 15 to 2. By the end it was 5,000 per each door. You know what I mean? So,
and that's crazy how the lease went up when I feel like malls were like starting to die out.
So what it is once they start learning your numbers. Because before they didn't know anything about it.
They saw how profitable you guys were. They're like, okay, these guys can afford to pay higher lease.
Start following you on Instagram, seeing you travel.
Okay, I see.
Wait, so they have 10,000 followers
the other day, huh?
Yeah. No, it really does, and it's funny because
that's crazy.
In hindsight, I remember MSW, the owner of that, because I had talks with him. Because he actually kind of went into it a little bit himself after, and we actually talked about like partnering at one point.
He had like a accessory business.
Yeah, he did accessories.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I forgot his name. What's his name?
Joe Al.
Yes.
Yeah,
He ended up being like a president for another company that I worked for like later on or something like that. Way later on, way later. Yeah.
He definitely did big business. He was telling me he remembers like when they were doing theirs and they started off and they were young doing it, and and they're like, flying around and stuff. And once the malls caught on to that, the same thing happened.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, hey, when you're new in it, be low key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what was the biggest thing you learned from that experience?
Oh, wow. I mean, from that, so I went from being able to be like a regional and all that and running locations and managing to running my own. You start to have a different respect. So a lot of people, when you're the owner and you wear the hat, I remember being on the other side as an employee and thinking like, oh, they're doing this because of this. They want to keep this. But if you actually see the books and know what it costs, you know what I mean? Like our thing, we could generate $1 million revenue.
Yeah,
there's a year we hit $1 million, right? Okay, but then you got to remember your payroll is $400,000, almost $300,000. Breakage you're not costing, things like that. It's things that people take little stuff. Your loss,
the supply,
your losses,
the revenue, taxes. California, they taking.
They taxing,
and it's okay, but
especially.
But then you start learning. Okay, I obviously can't go to H&R Block. I need a real CPA.
Yeah.
So all of that was like something that was super. It was dope. Like we went through all these transitions of one store to more stores to these guys that were young growing up with this and hungry, and they were making good money. We even made a mistake the first time. We paid them based off of revenue.
Ooh.
So they were getting
paid.
They were getting paid so much they were telling all their homies, and that made everyone come.
To come work.
Then we had plenty of employees, and then we started getting just super skilled people, and that helped us expand. Now we can be like, we're gonna open up here and stuff. And
that's always good. Yeah.
That
was like your first like real legit business, right?
That was
first
legit.
That was your first big business.
Yeah, everything. Doing the taxes, learning all the stuff we had to pay. To every single city we had to pay a fee. Just to operate in their kind of jurisdiction, all that. And it was it wasn't like it wasn't like there was a super guide written down. But But we definitely did that well. We after the climate change, we seen it. We ended up selling that about 2 years ago.
Was it just because the profit was not like as much as what it was before?
Yeah. So especially in the malls, what we looked at are a couple of things, and this is something we learned from talking to other business people. Hey, you got to be outside of the mall.
Yeah.
Because at the time when the malls were dying,
they were dying out. Yeah, I remember at one point
they were very desperate to the point of okay, we've operated here and been the only one. And that was cool, right? Then it was like, oh, we're going to bring in not one, but two others. So you're going to have three, right? So that obviously dilutes your profits. Now you have to tell someone who's a manager growing with you, like, hey, it doesn't make sense to have you as a manager. Yeah. To the point of like, if you walk and see it nowadays you see it, nothing wrong. It's just one person working there.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need. That's all you need. Probably open to close.
Yeah, and that's it. And no, it is open to close. Like, they're going to work 20, 30 days straight. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like, we don't want to do that. That's not our business. We want to be able to teach people, grow, and do other things. So we kind of seen that happening, flipped it, put our feelers out there.
There you go.
And got a buyer for it, and we're juiced and did. Jeez. And then we learned that. We learned business transactions. By then, we went from having regular taxes to someone who was just like a tax person we found to like a real CPA. Yeah. And now we're learning business. And the CPA, the power of a good, like, get a CPA. If you're really doing business, get a CPA, because they're like your lawyer for finances. They're really going to be like, hey, here's where you put this. Here's how you do this. No, you need to roll your cars into the corporation. You need to change it.
They'll teach you everything.
They're going to teach, like a good CPA is going to teach.
Basically like an accountant.
Yeah, they do everything. Yeah. This guy's one-stop shop.
Financial advisor, all of it, huh?
Well, CPAs are accountants.
Yeah, they're accountants, everything. His daughter's a lawyer, so she knows business, taxes. I mean, he's powerhouse. So, with that we learned. Then it was like, okay, let's start learning real estate, because by then my business partner, he was getting married. So all this stuff was happening. It was like, okay, where do we take this next journey? Yeah. Because we don't want to be working, and we can't work that many locations.
When you guys sold those locations, that business, you guys came out profitable, right?
We came out profitable, absolutely. Nice. I think absolutely probably didn't work for almost a year.
Damn, okay.
I just kind of like chilled, figured out stuff, and took some time.
That's always good. Pretty much the dream, right? You want to build a business, and obviously you want to sell it, so you can move on to something else.
Yeah. I took it as like, okay, let me learn some stuff, figure out things, and see like what's next. We had gotten to a property, and we were learning the Airbnb.
Yeah. Oh, so, I remember you doing Airbnbs for a while too, right?
So the Airbnbs, that was something that was good, and learning that. And then from there, it was like, okay, at some point I got to start studying, of course, to make that jump into real estate for the next type of stuff.
So what's the best advice you would give somebody that wants to start their own business?
My advice for business is you need to jump and build wings on the way down. And for some, if that's going over your head, like, everybody wants things to be perfect.
Sheesh.
And it's not going hard to be perfect. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That was hard.
It's not something where you can study all day long. You can study, you can read about certain things, how it is to be a fighter or whatever. I don't know. You can go, but until you like get in like that ring and try it out and really do it, it's going to be different. Yeah. And it's going to change your brain waves and how you think. So you really got to just jump, and a lot of people like
build wings on the way down, yo.
Yeah. And you're going to do it, because when you go all in,
you can fly back up.
Yeah.
Yo, I like that, bro.
You're going to fly. That. You might get caught on something. You can hang and rethink it. Like, okay, man, hold
shit.
Up.
Yeah. Get back up.
Anything can happen.
That's dope.
Yeah. And just, you can't be afraid to fail. Like, okay, like honestly, if you're a solid, smart person and you work hard, there's plenty of places out there for you.
Yeah.
Where you can go get into something. That segue back into it. So by then I'm chilling for a while, and then I get a call. Lately, I would get a call and it'd be like, "Hey, come manage." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, manage like a couple stores for me. So my boy, he was like a VP of a company or whatever, and he had me come manage for him. So I did that for a while, and then recently, I got a call to manage for the guy who I first did. He wanted me to run some of his locations.
Okay.
He needed someone, again, with experience, so he did that. But, of course, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, everything just kind of changed with that.
Yeah.
So, so he's got to rebuild his own stuff or whatever.
Yep.
So then it was just an opportune time to, like, okay, like, let's really jump hard into this real estate and get where we're supposed to be on that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just think about those kiosk businesses inside the malls when COVID hit.
They're all shut down.
It's like, fuck, like, you need the foot traffic to be.
Yeah, you need the traffic, and especially with the malls. I mean, they weren't letting people in for like
a
couple of months.
Man, like, what the fuck? That's just
so
crazy.
I think everything's just shut down.
Yeah,
for a while.
I watched people who had like he had about 22 locations. It went down to like 2.
Damn.
He's rebuilding it back, and like he can get it. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
But yeah, it's hard. You definitely. Be like,
I feel like right now, if you're gonna like start a business, like right now, I've been seeing a lot of like restaurants opening up businesses, like brand new locations. during COVID. But like anything like that, like a retail store, I think that's kind of hard to open during COVID. But like restaurants, I'm seeing a lot of them are booming right now. Like ones that just barely opened up. Because people can only go out to go get food. Besides, you can't go to the movie theater, you can't go to the mall, you can't go to any like big stores like that. So people are just opening restaurants because that's what people are doing right now, is going to get food. That's about it, really.
Yeah, this with COVID hitting and all this, it's not all the businesses are supposed to survive.
Yeah.
I think the loans were put there as a cushion to keep it from like the 2008 type feel, but they're not all supposed to. But food is good. Right. People don't want to cook; they just want to eat. Yeah. That's going to be good. There's certain things that can be good and done. That people are latching on to. Cleaning for one. Cleaning's good.
Yeah, you started
so let's get into that
too, right?
Hey, that was a great segue there, B. I see what you did there, man. I like that. Okay.
Cleaning.
Damn.
Okay. Message.
So yeah.
So I guess like to backtrack in that time after selling, I ended up starting two things: clothing brand inspired by all.
Yeah.
So that's something I've been working on. That's a whole separate
inspired
journey.
by all, man.
Interesting. And during COVID and stuff, a friend of mine who wanted to start their business came and me and Cal partnered with them, and we do a cleaning business called Absolute Decon, where it's full cleaning. You need just some regular cleaning, fine, but we do like the COVID full body zip up suits, masks,
when you texted me and Danny and you showed us like the little advertisement that you had or the commercial that you had for that business, I was just like amazed, man. I was like, damn, this is so dope, bro.
Yeah,
this was cool. It was cool when you showed us that.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, you go in there, we've been cleaning gyms and different spots and stuff, and just kind of growing that.
And I feel like right now is like the perfect time for you to start that business because a lot of locations or the ones that are looking like to open back up, they're they have to take things very seriously and like make sure the location, the restaurant or store or whatever it is, it has to be like super sanitized because people are very serious about it because they're not gonna go into a store if it's not like sanitized.
No,
stuff like that.
There are workers who like I don't feel safe coming back to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and some it's like really legit because you might have a worker who stays with their parents who
their
are a little
grandma
older
or something
or
like that, or they got young kids and stuff like that. So you never know. It's a risk.
Yeah, we had
either way.
A friend who called. He's like, yeah, my other brother stays with them, and my grandma's there, and my mom and dad.
But how'd you guys come up with that concept, and like what was the story behind even coming up with something like that? Because I just felt like that's something so unique, and for this day and age, is like it's such a perfect company to start off because right now I think so many different locations need something like that.
It was because of COVID, right?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, it literally kind of just landed in our lap, and that's more so because my circle, they know like, oh, B knows business, so you can come and ask me whatever it is, and I'm either just gonna give you the advice that I would do or whatever, take it or not, and then at least, or I'm gonna point you in the right direction. Like, I don't know it. Hey, go holler at this person.
That's cool.
Either way, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, it's just free game. Like, go do it. I want to see you succeed. But our boy came to us and he was like, hey, I want to do it. I don't really want to do this part, but like, I'm down. Like help me and all that. So we were like, okay, like we'll help build it out. So we started just building the infrastructure because that's. Now, after doing this stuff, I've gotten a lot better at it where it's like, okay. Where do you start? What do you do? What are the steps on it? And just building it out. So we did all that. And, we know how to order stuff. Dealing with screens has taught me, like, I'm very comfortable dealing with overseas. Overseas, like, a lot of people aren't as comfortable. Like, I have connections where people still hit me up with stuff from China to wherever to, who are,
Oh, so like the distributors and all that?
Yeah, distributors and everything. Yeah. And they're just like, well. And I can ask them, like, hey, do you know how to get this or where? And they might be like, nah. Or they might be like, oh, yeah, hey. Because the factories and everyone out there generally.
They know each other. Yeah, it's a network.
They're in that same.
Yeah, it's a whole network.
It's a network. So, being able to get things like that, literally, like, whoever makes, the cases of this or maybe this stand, like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fascinating when you, like, start talking to them, like, oh, yeah, we make that for them.
Yeah.
Like, we make that shit. If it's not made right here.
You got it, like, it sounds like you have a mastermind group of guys that you guys get together with and do business, usually.
I would say
like a network of people.
Like a network of individuals.
That's cool, man.
So how do you guys like encourage innovative ideas to keep things going and start new stuff?
I think with starting new stuff, your group needs to be unique.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to have some sort of skill set. And everyone's got to be learning and pushing.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to be pushing. And you got to share information.
Yeah.
A lot of times we'll text you stuff like, hey, check this out. Even if you're like not super on the level, if we start talking like, investments of stuff. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Boom, boom, boom. It's the interactions and stuff that'll like kind of like make other things pop about.
Okay.
You know, but I think that's what helps. I think for me, kind of like just being a manager, leader, and always trying to like help people and build them up, that just kind of draws people to me.
Yeah.
I think as well. Like they'll just come with stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, here, you know, and that's what builds on it. But having that same mind frame and everyone just saying like, what are you trying to do? Okay, you're trying to be here in 5 years. I'm trying to be here. Okay, we're all aligned. Cool. And if you don't have that as a homie, it's still good. But just like, this is like that group that you know, this is going to be
that's
here.
Gonna be,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I always say like to you, like, hey, everyone can't go with you on this journey. Everyone's not going to be able to make it. But the people that are, that's okay. And you still mess with everyone else.
100%.
Still love.
What's that quote you always say, Danny, where you said like, you don't want to come down?
Yeah.
Well, say that
He
again.
actually told me about that.
Was it? Okay. I always like that though. That's
if you're doing things, you moving forward, you want to bring the people with you. But sometimes they got to come up there with you.
Yeah.
You can't come down and try to get them.
Yeah, no,
they got to meet you up there. You can't come down to pick them up.
You can because if you scale back, then now you're falling back.
Yeah.
Now you're falling behind. But you just got to have a group of guys that's gonna be able to elevate with you.
Yeah, with same like-minded mentalities.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And like it's crazy because like as we got older or as we're getting older, you start to see our group of friends getting smaller and smaller. But the smaller the group gets, I think the more we're on the same page though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like our group of friends is really small now, but I think we're all like on the same page. We're all like very like-minded now, and we're kind of all progressing and making the right moves and stuff like that.
You feel like you're just getting started though?
Yeah, this is
and like every shit that you went through right now. I mean, I feel like you barely getting started.
Yeah, I feel like it too. Yeah,
right.
Same.
From everything that I have written down, like I have, I go from like my game plan is like 50 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like okay, out till like boom, like you know what I mean. Like here's what I want next 5 years. End of the year, next 5 years.
Yeah,
next 10, 12 years, and through writing it down and stuff and where I'm headed. A lot of the stuff is like, oh, okay, I see this, okay, this is happening. Maybe it's not happening right like that scale, but like, oh, like I just did that, you know what I mean? Like I was able to be in a web series movie, right?
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Actually, like
I seen that.
And like, oh, like I had to sign like the papers, like for SAG and stuff.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not like some Emmy role or whatever, but like, wow, I put that like, I do want to do something along that road later and be able to channel that because like I like that stuff, you know what I mean?
That's dope.
But yeah, like that writing it down and seeing it is very, very important.
It is, because I remember when we were living together, you used to have the whiteboard.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's
you were like,
we always used to write
down
shit down.
everything,
And that's how I started getting my whiteboard, starting writing shit down.
Same
too,
here.
Putting shit away. So that is important though.
You know what? Let's talk about that.
You gotta write your goals down for sure.
When we were all like living together at one point.
Oh man,
let's talk about that. Man. Well, just to give some.
Hey, you remember that one time, B, when I was a manager and then we were just smoking weed every day, and then B was like came into my kiosk one day. He was like,
Danny always tells me
on
this.
my whiteboard. He was like, "You're just gonna smoke your bonus away." He was like, "You want to change or you want to smoke your bonus away?"
No,
I was like, "Damn, you right, bro."
That's how B is, because B is always like nonchalant, but he'll say like just a couple of words that just make you feel like, damn, what the fuck, I'm fucking up, dude. And he doesn't have to say much, but he'll let it be known like, hey, you're fucking up right now.
That was funny though.
Without having to
I
say
remember
much.
that shit too.
That's
like,
crazy,
you right, bro.
But just to give a little bit of
miss out on this money.
A little bit of a backstory. This is when because this is when you owned the condo in Long Beach in Bixby Knolls, and Danny moved in there with you first. And then eventually, because you were doing a lot of moving yourself, you were like kind of like back and forth. So, and then I ended up moving in there. But just that time, me and Danny was living there at your spot.
Turn my house out.
Man,
we turned that shit out.
It was
yo.
It was a lot of fun.
It was
I'm still thinking right now, like B was probably like, I just let these motherfuckers in my house.
I let this fool live in my house. There was You know what though? Because dope, I felt like even though we were still knuckleheads, but when we moved in there though, I think our mentality changed for the better. Just because knowing like, we have a location where we can stay off the streets and stay out of trouble, and like a place where we can like focus on ourselves, and like, we were like putting our minds together. That's when Danny started the promotion business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were doing the music. So we were keeping ourselves busy. So I just want to say thank you for allowing to take us into your own place and giving us a place to
It's like
do something positive.
It's like a cow rec or something,
Yeah, exactly.
After school program.
It was
something like that. Yeah.
Hey, it was a fucking
something
after
like
school
that.
program for the Long Beach Cambodian refugees.
Basically from the east side.
Yeah.
But
there were some good.
There was a lot of good
legendary
times.
Legendary, bro. Legendary.
Yeah. We learned a lot from there though, man. I learned a lot from being there.
But how and where do you find inspiration, bro?
Where do I find
how
inspiration?
and where, bro?
I think so now, as I'm older, I look at, I got a son now, 11 years old.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you guys remember he was,
a baby.
Oh,
man.
yeah, he was.
I remember when you would yell at us to tell us to shut up because your baby's sleeping.
Yeah, right? Have some respect.
Keep it down over there, guys. Come on, my baby's sleeping.
I think right now it's for the future. Like for me, I do look at like what I want to leave behind. You know what I mean?
Your legacy.
Definitely a legacy. I would love. I want like my kids. You know what I'm saying? Kid to be like, hey, if people like for me, my biggest thing is like when I remember growing up and kind of like being like, okay, like that's my pops. But everywhere I would go, people would remind me who my pops was.
Oh, nice.
Like I got people I would meet till today who were just like, man, your pops like had my back and this happened, woo, like crazy stuff. And I would be like, what? Like my pops was always that guy, just very like, he would, he always was like stand up for certain things, doesn't matter what it is, against who, like if this is your friends, where like you stand up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do what's right, but like, I never like, I have let people down, parents and stuff. I never want to do that again. So it's like, I know that these people are depending on me in a sense. Like if everything's going bad, like I kind of got to be that rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And,
so, but did you get a lot of inspiration from people telling you like, hey, your dad used to do this for me, or he was this such a great of a guy and stuff like that? You were inspired off of that?
That helps. Yeah. That like put me in the right mind frame. Just being like, okay, like, hey, like you got to carry that on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nico and whoever your kids
You know what's
are.
crazy? Because I'm about to do the same thing to your son right now.
Yeah.
After this, I'm hey, your dad, he took me on his wing. I'm gonna do the same thing right now.
That's good. See, it's gonna plant that seed for him.
Hell yeah.
I try to teach him all that, like, hey. And he's like that too, though. He's definitely like for his friends, like he'll stand up for him. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
that's cool.
He actually does
that's
not
good.
like. He doesn't like people bullies. I hate bullies.
Oh yeah,
too,
for sure. Hate bullies.
He tells me stories like, oh, someone's like was messing with some like older kids and something, and he told the older kids like, hey, go get your friends, and I'm gonna go with my friends, and we can meet.
Oh,
like,
damn!
Crazy. Like, what are you talking?
Hey,
all
and then
nice.
you say, "Hey, tell your dad to come see me. My dad can whip your daddy ass. My daddy beat your ass."
He's one of those guys. He's off the hook. So
That's
I
dope.
think like that does it. And like even you guys, man, like I really want to be able to just do stuff. So like, hey, like you guys have something that you can be like, okay, like hey, like he can do something, like I can do it too.
For sure, 100%.
I think seeing it is like really important.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Any like very important values that your dad instilled in you that you keep committed to today?
I just think the probably like that work ethic and just like not being afraid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of things I've done where like maybe I could be, but he's just like, nah, like you just got to go do it.
Yeah,
like you got to go do that, and then after you can like figure out whatever. But like don't be afraid. You know what I mean? Like never look at it like, oh, like you can't do it.
Yeah.
Because just from what he did, like he just from that level, him going up and kind of like defeating the odds, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Pops, you know what I'm saying? He's, Compton, California, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Big family, you know what I mean? There's a lot of like history in that, you know what I mean? Like that's, and for him to like make it out and do that, like if he didn't stick to certain things he did, like where would I be? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So to be able to see that.
And you're the middle child? You have an older brother, younger sister?
Yeah, I got a.
So you're right in the middle, right?
I'm that middle child.
It's
very different.
You know what was crazy? Because like everyone I know that's the middle child, it has is a little bit of a different background. I think as a middle child, man, you got to be strong.
Yeah,
I'm the middle child.
I know. Danny, Danny's the middle child. So I think like what's it like growing up as a middle child, because you're not the first child, so you don't get that much attention, and you're not the youngest, so you also don't get that much attention because So you're like right in the middle. And
That's
I always know as the middle child,
that's why we
have
the
more
best
odds.
ones, bro.
Yeah, you have more odds.
My mom loved me more than fucking my siblings.
I can't relate because I'm the youngest. I'm the baby in my family.
So that's different. I know.
Yeah.
No, but you can see like the personalities from seeing like like the oldest sibling or the youngest sibling or the middle child.
Yeah.
You can see the different personalities.
Yeah.
And I can see it from both of you guys.
You get to see, from your older sibling, you get to see like that's like the first child. The parents are kind of learning. The middle child's like, okay, yeah, whatever. We kind of already see it, so we know. So there's a little bit more leash.
Like I'm not gonna learn from his mistakes. I'm gonna learn from his mistakes. I mean,
for me and my brother, we're night and day. Like I'm gonna be out there. I am out there to the point where he gotta look at me and be like, bro, like what are you doing? That was me. I'm just a little bit more wilder and out there, like just for everything. But being the middle child with them was cool because for me, like my older brother, like. He was like that dope kid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if he knows it, but like everywhere I went, like you couldn't sit in the back of the bus, like you would get like punched and all this stuff and beat up.
Shit.
But I could sit in the back of the bus because like, I'm little Nez, I'm
Yeah.
his brother,
Oh,
you know
damn,
what I mean? So like I get a pass for everything, and I would always hang with the older cats, so that actually helped me. Like I would hang with his older friends. Like I remember one time they wanted to go to a party. He was like, "No, I'm tired." I remember I took his car out. Like I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, I was that kid. It was crazy.
So you're kind of bad.
Yeah,
you're kind of bad. Kind of bad. Kind of a bad child.
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah.
I think that's life of a middle child. You are kind of bad a little bit because that's just the way it is.
It is. You look at stuff and then my little sister with her, it's like. She's my little sister.
Your little sister, and then she got like two older big bros. So
so she can move a different way. But like like with her, like I'm very like protective stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna let anyone like say nothing or do nothing to her. Like that was me. Like what'd you say? Like who? Okay.
Were you like that overprotective brother when she was like first going on dates and stuff like that? Hey, make sure she comes back at like 9 p.m.
I wouldn't say like I went like super crazy. But I mean I think like people had already heard enough about me to know like. Not like it's not like. Don't get it wrong. Like they do know. Like okay, like they've heard stuff though. They just heard like whether you like I'm not saying you got to believe it or whatever, but like they definitely know enough to be like oh yeah, like I heard about it. Like,
and she's married now, right?
Yeah, happily married, 3 kids.
Cool.
Great man.
Congrats to her.
Great job.
I remember when I met her. She's cool as hell. Yeah, she's so cool.
Yeah, she was
super cool.
She's a beast. She's like I tell her she's a female version of me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She really like just her mindset. She can very smart. You know what I mean? She's knows how to get stuff done. Yeah. And what she's been through to there is like, okay, I see you, sis.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. My brother, he's out there too. Well, he got 5 kids, so he got a big
clan.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm only one.
You got a starting lineup right there.
He does.
Yeah. Shit. You planning on having more kids soon? Anytime soon? Or in the future at least?
He's
Yeah.
like,
I'm probably having.
You want to have how many more? If you could, if you could choose. I mean, like if everything goes the right way. I mean, how many more kids would you want to have?
Oh, I'll probably at least 1, but if not 2.
Oh, okay. 3 is that's a reasonable.
Yeah.
Reasonable
How
amount
about
of
you,
kids.
fella? How many kids you want?
Real big.
I want 2 or 3.
Yeah.
2 or 3. You better get started, bro.
Yeah, I gotta get started huh? Before it stops working, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Before
you're
it
right.
stops
You're right.
working.
Before I have to, let's not get into that. But so I mean, we're not done talking about your businesses because you got your clothing line.
Oh, yeah,
so let's talk a little bit about your clothing line.
Okay, so clothing line, man, from someone who like,
how'd that start?
It started just I was just looking at like I always, I like fashion.
Yeah.
I've always liked fashion, but
you've always been a fashionable guy. I remember you always coming to work with a fresh, brand new dress shirt and a tie. With a matching belt or some matching shoes. Hey, you was always fresh. Yeah, you're always fresh.
I always wanted to be fresh, but I think it came just from like I always wanted to have something that's like kind of like here's our clothing. And like when I looked at like my brother having all these kids and all this stuff, and everyone's like, oh, like this will be cool. Like it'll be really cool when they're older because it's still just getting started in my mind because it's like a long-term game. This isn't some fly by night. Like I'm really looking like 10 years out, Because when I look at the people who've been doing it, you look at them on IG and they have all these followers, but like I start getting their history and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I've been in this 12 years. I've been in this like." Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, I'm on year like almost 2. Okay, like this is my baby."
Yeah, exactly.
So I looked at it like, "Hey, I want to be able to build stuff for like everyone in the family to have pride and be like, almost like this is yours. Like this is really gonna be yours at the end of the day. Like I'm gonna build it up, whatever, but like." You guys run with it. And like my nephew, he's super artistic, you know what I mean? So like I could already see him doing stuff. Nico's business minded already. I just see it being something where like, hey, you guys take it and transform it almost to a sense of like wherever this goes, maybe it starts off shirts and then it could go to liquor. It could go, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The next generation can take over your business and either elevate it or they can kind of like pivot to something, you know. So, but you know, just grow it into that. And so, you know, it's been a dope thing. Like, you know, started off one shirt, you know, where it was just like the inspired, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, it was like my boy. He actually was like, he actually was coming up with it, and then it was more one of those things like, oh, like hey, like let's just kind of join on it, and then now it's just basically like me for the most part doing it, just solo, just because you know things got chaotic, all the other stuff. But for me, like I'm good with all the chaos and everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn this, and like you know, I'm not the artistic guy of everything, but I know how to get things done.
But you'll find a way.
Yeah,
You've always been like that.
Figure it out.
If you don't know something, you'll find a way.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it.
But you got people doing things for you. Obviously, artwork, designs, like you just. You know, especially with clothing lines.
Speaking of who I got, man, I gotta. Oh man, it's crazy. So,
when's those coming out?
This guy right here, okay,
yeah,
all right, my man. So Danny, he designed some stuff for me that are dope right now.
Yeah, when those coming out?
So actually, I've already got the prototypes here.
Okay, cool.
I might have to get y'all some stuff to see.
Oh man, for sure.
Get down there.
We're rocking on the show.
I got you. Yeah. But he designed. I reached out to So Danny. This guy right here is a dope artist anyway. I know y'all don't know that. Besides this podcast,
because he had his own clothing line for a little bit.
Abstract, and he has some abstract. That one shirt with the.
Oh yeah. Ray killed that one for sure.
SLR.
Oh yeah, Ray. Shout out Ray too. Did my tap.
Oh yeah.
So with this, he designed a windbreaker for me that was super dope, and he's got some shorts.
The jacket.
Jacket, and he's got a mask.
That ski mask.
Was it the one that you were wearing
in
your video in the car?
Yeah, that's actually the one. Yeah, I'm wearing.
Oh, that's just hard, bro.
So it's actually in the video.
I need that, B. Come on, bro. I need
windbreaker. I got you.
I need the prototype. I need whatever. Give me the prototype.
The Ambition windbreaker is it's gonna drop. Obviously, I'm gonna do some stuff for it. Pre-order contest, all that. But that one that you see in the video, the promo video that just dropped. This guy right here designed that.
Nice. Okay.
You know, and it's dope.
But I am part of the team now, though, right?
Yes, he is officially
part of the team. Damn. Okay.
I'm designer. Head designer. No,
head designer.
And I already know,
head designer.
He's gonna be designing stuff, and then where that's gonna elevate with him and people. So don't poach him. You can't take him right now.
Mike B.
My bad. Don't poach him.
Yeah,
you can't take
I don't think people heard you like the last couple of minutes.
Oh man. All right. Let me back up.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, you're good.
Yeah.
But so that and that right there is like. So now I've latched on the other people. Oh, hey, let's boom. Yeah. The connections and stuff and connectivity is also like something that like really inspires and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and then everything that just comes with it. Like doing this is like now I have like someone who can do my cut and sew. So like this right here, this isn't me taking it and being like, let's just stamp something on. This is literally like this is made from scratch. I talked to them, okay, how are you gonna do it? And the people that are in this industry, they understand, but the people that aren't, it's something to know there's like different levels of it. You know what I mean? Like you're making this stuff from scratch, getting it together, you're understanding cuts, fabrics, and just learning all that. And, you know, I didn't go to school for it, but it's like I'm doing that now to learn. And so, like, I just definitely, like, enjoyed.
It's never too late to learn.
Yeah, never.
You got to be able to rely on people's expertise, too, right? That's the biggest thing about, you know.
And that's something I've learned, too, in business, to go back to that. Being able to, like, trust the people who are around you. I think a lot of people who, if you're an up-and-coming leader, if you don't learn to do that, you're going to be doing it yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But if you want to, like, grow it and really – someone told me, hey, you're either working in your business or on your business. You know what I mean? And that's something that I had to learn from, like, okay, like the cell phone repair. You know, like, like we're either – and that's something I told them before, hey, right now we went from working on our business doing stuff to, hey, with everything that's changing, we'll be working in it. You know, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, but like, is that what you want to do? You about to get married, a kid? No, okay, let's do this. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get this pocket. Boom. Let's go. Let's figure out next.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely, bro. I like that.
So check it out. When you get a chance.
Check it out.
So I mean, so far it looks like you guys are doing really good, man. I like the things that you guys are doing with the clothing line. And I'm seeing it progress as it goes, man. That's pretty cool to see that though.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hey, that commercial though.
I know. Hey, yeah. The most recent one.
Shout out Villano Films. Hey, y'all need a film person, get at my boy Villano. Me and him are gonna do some other projects just because we hit it off. And that was
cool. That was dope as well. When I saw that
part when you got up. You went running and the girl was wearing Inspired. She was boxing and you like ran past her.
Oh yeah.
And
You ran past her and
met up
you
with
have to
somebody
take a
else.
look back.
Hey, that shit was dope, man.
Okay.
It's like, it was a cool ass concept.
Yeah, it was
for
tight.
sure.
I was surprised to see that. I mean,
Coolest concept.
you know what I mean? It was cool. It was something different.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
it was justified though,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad. It's weird when you're working on film and doing stuff like that. You're like, when should you drop it? Is it ready? What are you doing? And it's another thing. Just put it out there, man.
Put it out there. Yeah. Just put it out.
But I'm glad everyone definitely like.
You got some good
I got
feedback.
really good feedback.
Yeah,
everyone
that shit was
loved
dope.
it, and
It
so
was dope.
like,
I like it.
You know, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
We love that stuff, man, because we like the inspiration. Because you narrated some very motivational, inspiring words with the narration. So that was dope.
A lot of
man.
people didn't know that was me on the narration.
Shit's dope as fuck. That was,
Come on,
I figured
bro.
this stuff out too.
It sound like the ET videos. You know the guy, the ET dude.
Bro, you always working, bro. Do you have a home life?
Great. It's funny you say that because now I have a lady in my life.
Oh, hey now.
And,
Congrats.
So, yeah.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Shout out Lena. What's up?
What's up, Lena?
Okay.
Nice to not meet you yet.
I know. Yeah. Right. Nice to not meet you yet.
Oh man, congratulations, bro.
So I definitely there's people who will tell you like when you date someone who's like with that mindset too of entrepreneur all that. It's really about communication. That's in any relationship.
Communication is the key.
It's very key. I'm talking about accurate communication.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so nothing hidden.
Yeah.
None at all.
Where'd you guys meet?
During right COVID hit, man.
Oh.
Just kind of met. Yeah.
You just partnered up like, hey, I'm COVID by myself. You ain't got nobody. Trying to hang. Me and you want to be my
COVID partner?
quarantine?
Quarantine partner?
You be my quarantine?
That's what it was. Quarantine partner. And
part of the quarantine.
From there, it's just been great. And
that's dope, man. Happy for you, bro.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
So she keeps me a level. And
so you do have a home life.
I do. Yeah. I'm very much learning.
I can't believe this.
I watch TV shows now.
Oh, no.
That's
Hell no. What you watching?
Got Love and Locked Up. That's one we watch.
What's
that one? What's the one with the music thing? They're in the costume. It's like some music show, and you don't know who it is. You have to guess.
Oh,
who
the
it is.
Masked Singer.
Masked Singer.
I like that. Okay.
Guessing or whatever.
Busta Rhymes was on there recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, woo-ha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
dope.
Yeah. But I mean, I find time to do some stuff. I always try to find time and like.
What do you do on your off time? What else do you do on your off time besides watch the Masked Singer? When you get some free time.
When I get some free time, I generally try to relax. You know what I mean? Like I'm always gonna like do some sort of workout, but anything relaxing. Like I like to get away. We can't really get away now, but like,
it's hard.
Even though I'm coming to do this, like there's a getaway time to just like relax. You know what I mean? And kind of go down like that memory lane and stroll, see stuff out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Show my son like, hey, this is where I used to be over here. This here, boom, boom. You know, like that type of stuff. So just really like probably spending time with him. You know what I mean? You know, when he's around, get that. But besides that, man, binge on a TV show if I can. It's one episode. I don't get to binge like that though.
What are you binging on Netflix or what are you watching?
So I binged on Cobra Kai.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Did that.
Cobra
That was dope. Yeah. Fargo, the one with Chris Rock. Now I started that, jumped into it.
I haven't checked that one out yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Chris Rock. It's like goes back in time, kind of like the first group that comes to America, and it's like got the Jewish gangsters, like the Italian, and the Irish, and it just shows like these transitions. But I'm not super deep on it yet, but I know it starts changing. You know?
I hope they show the Cambodian gangsters. Let me see that episode, though. Eastside Long Beach. Here we are.
Film. They got,
so today we're going to Long Beach.
Yeah. We have a story, guys.
There's a story.
I remember back in the day, you used to always watch gangster movies back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember you used to always put it on, and I would come in and like, what are you watching?
Oh, man.
Colors or freaking Scarface and shit.
Colors.
Like, okay, let me check this out.
Oh, yeah. All of them. Jay-Z, American, everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, American Gangster. Yeah, there used to be on that. You always come in and like, my man.
My man.
Denzel. Okay, Denzel.
Yeah.
So what are you doing nowadays, man, to keep like constantly challenge yourself, man? Like, what are you doing nowadays to do that?
So
great question there, Danny.
Yeah. So now it's more of like a focus on things. So and just spending like that quality time on it. You know, I have to look at it like, okay, daily I have to figure out what am I doing for Inspired. How am I growing the cleaning business? And the goal is to get most of these where it's like very automated. You know, I want things very automated. That's something that we were able to do with the cell phone that we started understanding like automation. Like, okay, like we could literally leave the country and it
it'll
could
still run by itself.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, okay.
But
like,
that starts off with a good team first, right?
Yeah, no, and that you have to spend time, you have to build them. So I find myself building my team from like who's helping with anything on the web, who's helping with anything on marketing, who's helping with anything from social media. Like I'm actually finding those people now, and that's what I started to put the focus on. Yeah. So I have that where I try to stay on that a little bit. And then I'll have, decon, like I just hired a team that helps with the calling out of stuff. You know what I mean? Okay. They're actual like outsourced company.
Cold calling?
We already have some leads for them.
Calling out to reach for like some a contract with the business.
Okay. Contracts in business. So they're covering that part. Yeah.
That's basically like a sales team, basically.
Yeah. Is that something you do like with all your businesses? Like you do everything all throughout the day, or do you kind of section off time periods to do work on this, to work on that, or do you just like I do this and I do that and then come back to that, come doing this? You know what I mean? Is it like a
right now? I've definitely got it to where it's like it's more scheduled. I could spend with it being online, the business and all that. That's easy to run. Yeah. That's just in the day. That's super easy.
Yeah,
I mean, online makes
you do it mobile
efficiently. Yeah.
Sure.
With the decon, it's more just checking in. Like, hey, this person called or someone referred someone to us. Who's going to check on that? Did someone go? If not, do I need to maybe go do it? Whatever it is. That's how that is for the most part.
Okay.
But what I'll do is right now, because I'm like, okay, we want to build up the real estate. Like we're going into,
for sure.
we want to build into the investments, build that portfolio up. So it's like there's 4 days a week where I'm like super hard on that. Okay. Because you basically have to, you got to drum up the business. You have to make sure your sphere of influence understands what you're doing. This is like an opportune time. A lot of my friends are like jumping into that more so. They're getting their families, getting babies, so they're jumping into that. So that I have to like put a lot of learning into. So I go full force at that. Then it's like nighttime and morning. I do a little bit inspired, and then I just check in with the absolute decon. What are we doing? Yeah. But if we have like a gig or something, like I think maybe 2 weeks ago or whatever, we did one that I went to. I'll just help with like recruiting some of the team. Yeah. Just because that's like kind of one of my skill sets. I've worked with so many people under or had stuff where it's like, hey, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, cool. And it's like a gig thing too. So like, it's not like they have to be there whenever. It's like, hey, here's a job or two, Saturday, Friday, whatever. This is it. Here's the payout. You want to get it? It's paid same day.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I'm down. B, where's that? Boom, roll up. I'm gonna get you the suits as soon as you get there. Hop in. So like a lot of the homies that got stuff, like my boy, he works at a bank, but he's like right now the bank. I don't know if they got COVID or something, but he was like they're condensing it. And he's like on the weekends we're not working for this bank. We're gonna close it or something. So he's like, oh yeah, I mess with you on Saturday. He'll go get his money, boom, and go do his day. So like,
imagine if you do like Uber cleaning, like
Uber cleaning.
Let's just say you have the hat, the suits and shit, right? And then someone goes on, hey, there's a job over here, need some cleaning. Come pick up the suit. Someone can sign up for it. Oh, I'm free today. Let me go clean. You know what I mean? And it's just like a network of people just going on.
Like a business can go on the app and say, hey, I need my business clean today.
Oh, today pay $50 or $60. Oh, I got time. Boom, go and pick up the suit over here. Damn.
You're giving B ideas over here. Giving B some ideas.
College kids, college
kids. Danny, you're about to be living there, so college, so you can recruit.
Bro, I'm saying though, that'd be tight. Like instead of state. Some people like to clean. Some people don't even drive.
So clean. A lot of people like to clean.
Yeah.
Like when I first was doing, I was like, damn, like are the homies that I know gonna want to? These people are like from sales background. These are some of the managers, different stuff. Like, but they're just like right now, like. They're like, oh yeah, like I'm trying to just get money. Like, I'm not doing much. It's free, slow time. And
a lot of people are not working right now.
Quick $20-$30, like go get
especially on a weekend or something. I mean, you make some time for it.
Yeah, and some
little side gig.
Yeah. Some people aren't working. They had like that 9-to-5 gig and like stuff happened, and so like they've been supplementing, but they're also enjoying their free time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're enjoying that free time. Like, damn, I got free time. Like my time. This is the first time for a lot of people that the world is slowed down for you. And you can really like either spend time with fam, see stuff, but like really just be like, wow, like, so this is what it's like. I can do whatever I want.
That's true.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And some it might be scary too. There's different levels of it, but if you're okay, like, financially in a sense, or at least you're like, okay, decent, like you can really just, everything slows down and you can enjoy stuff. And it's teaching a lot of things. I don't know, but like, I look at people like, working till like 10 and all those crap. Like, nah, man, that's not the move. Like, unless you want to. If you want to, there's nothing wrong with you.
Unless you're working on your own business or something.
Yeah, but like
working anytime.
the world should shut down at 7.
The world should shut down
not like the world, not like that, like food, of course, all
But
that.
you're talking about like
no,
at least like
work.
operation.
Yeah, like people should
like
be
9 to
home
5
to go
stuff.
eat with your family.
Yeah,
There's no
you're right.
reason
We should have 3-day week.
at 9.
3-day
weekends?
3 days off.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's like Japan that only like students only go to school for like 4 days out of the week, and like they get like a hour nap time. They get like a huge break and stuff like that because what they say is it gives the kids more time to just kind of relax and enjoy themselves and not be stressed out at school and or work. Even at work, people at work in Japan, they get like hour, 2 hour, 3 hour breaks and stuff like that, just so that way they can
soft, bro.
rejuvenate themselves.
Soft ass kids.
It does sound kind of soft, but I think it might be effective because your brain is the most important thing. So kind of get some time off to relax, chill out a little bit.
The brain does need to shut down. I don't know if like one thing I was talking to my boy who's yesterday we went eating. He's got his kids about the same age as my son, and like if you've ever watched like a kid who's like 11 right now in that range, age 12, 13, maybe even more, but I was just watching them. They'll literally have like their iPad on, they'll have their phone, and then they'll have like the TV on.
All at the same time. Yep.
Their brain firing is different. And then I was like, what are you doing right now?
That's
then
crazy.
If you look in the corner of the
They're
iPad,
actually doing something.
They'll have not only whatever they're doing on the iPad, whatever they're doing on the phone and the TV, they're gonna have in the middle of the iPad on the corner, they might be watching a TV show. So they're like watching a TV show in the corner of the iPad. Then they're doing whatever they're doing on the iPad and on the phone and logging on to do Fortnite or whatever it is.
So they're playing Fortnite on the TV.
Watching someone
you
play
got a
Fortnite
YouTube
on
video
TV.
playing on the iPad, and in the cell phone is watching TikTok. Like all at the same time.
TikTok. Yeah, so like
all at the same time. That's crazy.
Hey, what's your
that at some
TikTok,
point.
name?
I don't have one yet. I keep telling him
It's Bivs 562.
I'm gonna make one. I don't know what to do. I keep telling him, come with an idea.
Hey, why not?
Hey, people are creative on TikTok, dude. People get super creative.
No, I mean it is creative. Like there's no knock against it. Like it's something like the social media, like diving in, learning more, and being around like these people who are like there's people I've met at a really high level at it. So like I'm like, oh wow, doing this, reading this. Like it's great to just tap into people. Like the more people that know, just show up and just kind of be consistent with it. So do it, whatever. Like try it. Who cares?
Just to touch back on I know you said you were in real estate now, right? What made you want to get into real estate?
So honestly, real estate I always was gonna do.
I remember you talking about this for like a long time.
Yeah, so after it was already like, okay, we're gonna go into real estate. For me, I was like, let me take a break from everything, figure out exactly, like what I want to do. I want to relax. Let me be with family, figure out stuff. In between that time, my pops actually got sick. So he actually got really, really sick, and he was sick for about a year and a half.
Oh, damn.
And then like he just, recently just passed. He passed during COVID. Yeah. So all of this stuff leading up to that was like, let me be with him. And, he's out in Washington. Let me fly out, spend time with family. You know what I mean? It's it was, he's going through cancer, and it's not the kind that you can really easily cure. Gotcha. So it was just, it's inevitable. Yeah. And some dope things I was able to do is I actually recorded his life story, which I haven't like done anything with yet, but I'm going to. I literally took it from his childhood, and he was able to talk and do that, and I'm gonna put that together, just kind of like the life and times of him and stuff. So
that's dope.
I really wanted to spend time, and my boy, shout out Swazilla, he gave me that idea. Like, hey man, like, cause his dad actually passed from cancer, and the one thing he said is like, I wish I would have had like talked to him more and got like his story, because his pops has a great story too. Yeah, just like get to know, and that's for like not just for me, but that's for like any other kids I have, the other little ones who are like really little now who aren't gonna know their grandpa. Exactly. They might see something. Maybe you can Google stuff, but like you want to know him, like press play. For sure. Press play, listen, and you can hear his actual voice and what he said. So I did all that. I made that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to learn also some other stuff with business. So I did. I was able to work with a company that was huge. They had like 1,000 locations, and understand their structure and stuff. And then from there, it was just like, take the test, learn a little bit organically. And then finally it was like, okay, now I'm going to do it this year. Cause after he passed, there was a lot going on. It was like, all right, this is like the real year. Yeah. But before that was okay. I got reached out to, hey, I need someone to help with management. Let me go do that for a little bit. And then when it got down to the point of like, hey, all the stores got to close, everything. It's like, okay, now I'm ready to like really, really jump into this.
It was like good timing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was perfect timing. Yeah. Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Oh yeah. Dope.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Real estate market, man, it's crazy right now.
Oh yeah. Especially right now. Yeah, it's a great time.
Is it still? It's still really expensive out there too, up north. Huh?
So yeah, in the Bay Area, you know, I'm in the Bay
Small
right
ass
now.
houses and shit.
From San Jose
They're all
to,
like
to
super close to
Oakland.
each other, huh? And
Yeah,
up there.
it's up. I mean, like, you'll have customers who are just like, oh man, it's just very competitive, and
Yeah.
that's just what it is. You know, in certain places, it doesn't mean you can't win and get something. It just depends on like what's your plan. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like are you looking at this like, hey, this is some sort of vehicle investment? Is this just more like you want to get out of a house because you don't want to throw your stuff away? The end big beautiful thing of real estate, which I've learned, is like you can earn someone's salary on a flip or
On
a
just
move.
one-
Yeah, like 3x the salary.
Yeah,
and stuff. Like
yeah.
you can
That's
really
crazy.
make some moves, and it's powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if people aren't understanding it, and there's different ways to do it. You might look at it and be like, oh, that's very expensive to get in. Well, like, you know, group economics is what I tell some people, like, okay, well, who do you have that's like-minded that you can trust, that you can all do stuff, you know what I mean?
Together, yeah.
And figure it out, you know? And that's the beauty of it. Like right now I have like, you know, people who are like, hey, like, let me know what deals you have or whatever. Like, I'm down to work with you because I already know based on your business what you've done. I know what you've done with from Airbnb, from your place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what
of course.
you've done. Like, oh, like you've
You've already built up that reputation. For
yeah.
yourself.
So it's cool to have that. And then you know, we were even before COVID hit, we were looking at investing out of state actually in another spot, and we were like, you know, trying to bid and stuff. And then when COVID hit, we were like, okay, let's just wait. But now we're looking at everything, and we're gonna go back to that. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you can't get it in your state and it's expensive, go to another state.
Yeah.
And like, it's not as hard as you think, and it's not as scary as you think.
Yeah.
You know, like I just met with a guy yesterday. You know, shout out Legacy Home Solutions is my boy. He, you know, he's smashing on properties. He got about 8 of them in Virginia.
Investment
and like,
properties.
Yeah, and they're all remote. He lives out here, so he was in the Bay, and I met him. And then funny, I was just telling him I'm coming out here, and he said, "Oh, I just moved out here." I was like,
shit.
"Oh, bet," and we just like linked up or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you know, I've seen that. There's plenty of info. If you don't know info on stuff or what to do, you know, hit me up. You know what I mean? I'm definitely a source. But I think people are. It's a long term game. You know what I mean?
It is long term.
Yeah, it's a long term. You know, like you should be looking at this like, hey, if you can get this and it makes sense, you can sit on it. You can wait till it appreciates and pull out and go, you know, get more. Or you can be like, I'm going to sit on this and just really, really wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Real estate is generational wealth, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
And
definitely.
and that's that's where people get rich.
Yeah.
As well.
And I think you
In
came
the
in
real estate game.
at a really good time too, because rates are low. Even though the value of the homes are still at the same price, but like the interest rates are low, and people are buying homes right now during COVID, which is crazy. But it's still people. Yeah, the business is in there right now. So
yeah, the bid. I mean, people are getting 10 bids, you know, on homes. With the rates low, I mean, you know, historically low.
Historically low, at all time low, basically, and it's gonna stay around for a while, right, Danny? I mean, the rates.
You never know what's gonna happen after the election.
That's what it looks like, though, right? At least.
Yeah, I mean, even someone
Depends who goes in office.
when they're looking at it.
But I don't think it would change drastically. Not right away. At least I think it'll be over time a little bit. It'll like slowly.
I was already in the business before the elections, 2016.
And it changed right away drastically.
It shot up, bro.
I thought it was like a slow decrease or something.
It was like 2s, and then next thing it went to 4s, and
within
5s,
within months.
6, yeah, like within months. Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
definitely gonna be interesting with this year and all that stuff happening in the election. It'll be crazy.
Yeah.
This is a different beast of a year with all this.
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, so who did you vote for? I'm just kidding. I was playing.
Hey,
You gotta answer that, bro.
We'll talk
I told
offline.
someone once, like, what do you think?
Yeah, but
How do you feel? Hey, how do you feel about that though, man? With people like really hating each other about politics, like
yeah,
you know what I mean? That's, to me, it's just like
stupid. That's kind of dumb.
I don't think people should take who people vote for.
And judge their
judge
character
them by that
off of who they're voting for.
It depends why.
That's just dumb. That's just pretty dumb.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I'm not really too much into politics, so I can't really speak on it.
It's not like you look. So like you can have some people who like disagree and they vote for it, but like on a deeper level, like I mean, okay, like. Sometimes you gotta look at somebody, right? Like and be like, okay, like man,
let it out.
where'd you grow up? Who were you around? Like
that.
Okay, I get it. Why like you're voting that? Like
That's a big
you don't have
factor.
like any type of like you know what I'm saying? Like you guys could, especially California. Like I can't expect the dude from Delaware, you know what I mean? To understand minorities or whatever's going on or the history and stuff. Like I get it. And if he does be like sympathize, like great, shout out to you. I just want people to have a perspective on it. So like my stuff when I have with people, it's just like more of a dialogue. Like, okay, like you tell me why you feel like that. Okay, well let's not like take this out of why it's like that. Like if you believe that that's cool, but do you know why it's like that? So like when you judging someone, don't judge this person based off of like this is where he's at right now, but why? And I get it. It's easy to be like, well, I don't care why or whatever. He's like, nah, but why? What turned that? And you got to take that in consideration because you can't fix a problem if you don't know the reason why.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's like a child crying. If you don't know why they're crying, like you can't just be like, stop crying. Like, well, he got his foot ran over or something. Like, what do you mean? Like somebody hit him on the head.
The thing is that not a lot of people can handle having these kind of conversations, a productive conversation, and like being able to understand one another and like listen to the other person's point of views. A lot of people just jump into conclusions and just kind of judge off of, something that someone says and stuff like that. So that's the hard part for a lot of people is they can't handle it.
It's revealing.
People gotta be able to challenge their own beliefs too.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I think that they're always right.
Like you could be taught something growing up and you just believe it, but sometimes you just gotta be like, yo, is that really what it is? Like you gotta be able to challenge that shit because everything that we've learned been either passed on or you learn it on your own, right? So,
right, exactly. Yeah.
So most of the beliefs, though, I think is passed on from like their parents, stuff like that, and people just gotta be able to challenge that shit, man. If they don't, that's ignorance, bro.
That is ignorance.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Sure. They are now. I think now with all the wealth of knowledge, I think this, the generations now are they do more question it, and we weren't taught to question everything, but like they do question it, and they should. They're gonna look at it too, and now it's just a matter of them getting the right news and not getting the fake news. But at the same time,
bro, that's scary.
That's a whole nother.
It's a whole nother topic.
That's true, man. Yep. Let me ask you, B. Out of all the things that you've done so far in your life, what's been one of your biggest accomplishments? For yourself, and it doesn't have to be like something financially. It could just be something that you've accomplished that you just felt like, it was just one of like the biggest things that ever happened to you.
Man, the biggest things that ever.
Just
I think like, I mean, so I feel like I haven't had like the biggest yet, but I mean like from outside looking in, yes, like building a company was very big. Like it was literally from scratch without an idea. Making some of the moves like I'm even learning with like real estate when I'm looking back like, oh, like that's like a good deal like we just did. Yeah. And then it's like right now I have these moves that are sitting and hopefully I'll be able to be like, okay, this one coming up is the next one, I guess. So but I'll definitely say like making a business and being able to run it and understand that from scratch, no blueprint or nothing is definitely been one of my dopest, you know what I mean, that I feel that I was happy about. But I think like I really feel like if I like put my mind to it, like when I was like, okay, I'm gonna make an album just because I really want to do this thing. Like, boom, okay. Like doing that stuff to me is always at that moment being like, okay, like I did this.
So like, you told yourself that you want to do it and that you're gonna do it and you did it. Yeah. I think that's always something that's good to have.
And I think that pushes me for the next thing because now they're getting bigger. Like what I have next is
bigger goals and
bigger than this. It's like okay, like manage these two things right here, make this other thing, and then like. It's like the top of the pyramid kind of idea.
Gotcha.
Yep. So that's big too, man, because you got to be able to just break shit down.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing I probably got from you is to just break down your goals and then, take things down one at a time.
Yeah, if there's one thing, like people need to learn, like people can call it whatever they want to, but like, yo, break down your goals. Go write it down and watch it get real. Go literally take it and just like, don't worry about it sounds retarded. Don't worry about it. But be organized, define the time, and put what it is you want. And just look at it. Just look at it. I tell people like, hey, if your goal is $1 million and you end up with 500,000, which is when you were sitting on 1,000, you're not going to be mad. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, you're just going to be like, okay, like, how do I double this? How do I get to that? I still, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe I thought it was going to be in 2, but it looks like the timeline's set for 3 because I'm on the way. Like, you're not mad at that. You can't be, you know what I mean? Like, and people will say whatever they want at first, but like, just do it. Something's gonna come, especially if like your mind and heart is in, and you like dedicate that time. You know, you put in that work, perfect the craft.
Just do it. All right. So this next part, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out some random. Well, Danny already pulled out some random questions from the pod decks. So by the way, you can go on to poddex.com If you're looking to go ahead and start your own podcast, it's a great website that's gonna help you teach you and start your own podcast. So if you want to purchase anything, use our discount code SessionUp for 10% off. Poddex.com.
Okay,
10% off. Let's go. All right,
we
all right, Danny.
by Victoria's Secret too. Just let y'all know. Just put Danny's.
You get
you
get 0% off over there.
All right.
All right. So what you got for us, Danny? What kind of questions? What questions did you pull out?
Picked out some pretty good questions here, and I think I'm gonna leave this one for last.
Okay.
And then
Best for last.
We'll do an easy one first. All right.
These questions.
So
you got?
B gonna go
got?
to you first. All right.
Right.
Make it good. Make it good.
Who'd play you in a movie?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Oh man.
I got a few that I can think of, but go ahead.
Who would play me?
Who'd play you in a movie?
I got a few good ones.
I don't know about.
Oh man.
Just want to be out there. Damn. Who would play me in a movie? So
this is like would this be like an autobiography or?
Yeah,
or?
like an autobiography.
Okay.
So honestly, if I could
That's
think
a
of
good
somebody
one.
who I like out of the norm, it'd be the dude from Snowfall.
Oh,
that?
he played Frank.
From Snowfall.
He played Frank,
was
the main character.
Yeah, the main.
I don't think I've ever
character.
seen that movie.
Oh, you know
Oh,
what?
man,
Yeah, that's a
Snowfall
good
is
one.
Well, who was this guy? What's his name?
He does remind me.
Franklin.
What other
Franklin.
movies was he in?
Snowfall. He's been in more stuff now, but if you haven't seen Snowfall,
I haven't seen Snowfall.
It's dope.
Okay, I gotta
and just
check
the
it out.
transformation of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It reminds me of like certain things. I think just like just like his character development is really good in it.
Yeah. Okay.
And
It was
I feel like, in my life, there's a lot of like that development. You know what I mean? To get to where you are, like okay, like there's this development, like you know what I mean, like not same story, but he would play that well. He would be able to embody like the development of like these things happening that
Okay.
shift your mindset and stuff.
Hell yeah.
I think he did
Okay.
that
Yeah.
well.
Gotcha.
So that'd be who I would put. I don't know
Hell
his
yeah.
name.
That's
man.
who you
I
would
can't think
put?
of the name.
And what's his real name?
I would say Michael B. Jordan for you.
So that would have been out. Hey, I would have said Michael B.
I
Jordan
would say
too.
so. So when the documentary starts off, when you're a younger person, I would say Michael B. Jordan,
Okay.
and then when it's an older character, I would say probably Denzel.
Facts.
And then when it comes to your age, you can play yourself.
Okay. Was it Damson Idris?
Who?
Damson Idris.
Damson
Damson
Idris.
Idris, man. Dope
Okay,
actor.
he's dope. That's
Okay,
he's a
Damson
dope ass
Idris.
character. I can see that.
Jeez. Thanks to our cameraman.
How about you, fella?
with the information in the back.
Who you got? We're gonna play you.
Man, let's go to you first, bro. Let's go, say,
I've been
come back to
thinking
me
too,
last,
man.
bro.
Shit.
All right. So then, I would say, Timothy De La Ghetto. I would say Timothy De La Ghetto because we're the same height. We kind of dress alike. And I think
get more bitches out?
I think he represents.
Who get more bitches?
Obviously him. Well, he's married, so I don't know about now.
just play,
But
just play.
I think he would be a good person to play me. I think it would be an easy transition.
Wow, that's funny. That's dope.
Hey, shout out to Timothy.
If you are listening.
Timothy, he goes by his real name now, Chantarongsu. Hey,
Yeah.
if you watch this,
Chantarong.
if you see this, man, hey,
Play me.
play me.
Oh man, who would play me, bro? Fuck.
Oh man,
Wow.
I'll probably.
I don't know. Go ahead.
I might go with Donnie Yen.
Donnie.
Man.
Damn, another It Man. This gonna be,
Let's go.
hey, this gonna be 8 Man Part 10.
Hey, no, I was thinking something like that
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Donnie
like,
Yen.
yeah.
Hey, he's still like,
Donnie Yen
dude,
would
he's
play
still a
me.
beast.
He's a beast, man.
He's still a beast.
Yeah. Hopefully
Yeah.
he can play me.
I'm trying to think
for
who
sure.
else could play you.
You know, what's the movie? I want to say he played in this movie. Maybe I'm wrong. Who played in? Oh man, was it like Green Dragons or something?
Green Dragons.
Something. It was something. But it was based out in like I don't know if it was New York or San Francisco, but it was like this young dude, and he had to maneuver through this world or whatever. And it was the dude who played. You ever seen Parasite?
Yeah,
yeah.
Parasite.
Who's the kid in there? The main kid who's like teaching.
The
he
main
gets
guy?
all the family in.
I mean, I watched the movie, but
Whoever that is
he someone?
I think he played in something else, man. But it reminded me of Danny because like
Hey, that's a great movie,
Yeah.
by the way.
Danny's like
though.
thinker. He
Parasite.
masterminded the whole thing, and yeah.
That's
You gotta
dope.
see
We
this.
gonna
I'm gonna
find
text
that.
you that.
I was gonna say like DK from Fast and the Furious.
Drift King.
Drift King.
Oh hell no! You
I was gonna
crazy?
say that guy's gonna play Danny.
That's not me, dog.
I don't know. I got
You know who I thought for you, fella?
Who?
That little kid in Indiana Jones.
Oh no!
Little kid from Indiana Jones, bro. Oh wow, thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Okay,
Let's get serious.
that's a
man.
good question. That
That's
was a
good
good
one.
one. That was a good one. I like
Alright.
that. That was different.
So second question. If you could undo one moment in your life, what would it be?
My bro. Just kidding.
Wow.
Your bro. Her bro. Undo. Damn, it's a good question. There you go, B.
Undo one moment.
One moment, bro.
But okay, so can you elaborate a little bit on that question?
Please. Thank
Well,
Can you put it in a sentence?
So I
Can you give us
guess
a noun?
I mean, if you can undo just one moment that you felt like maybe you
Just
regretted
redo?
doing,
So like
or
basically,
even something that was successful, maybe you wanted it could have been
Do it differently?
even more successful if you did. You know, if you instead of making a right turn, you should have made a left.
Gotcha.
Should have went straight or going back. You know,
Should have made that U-turn.
should have made that U-turn or something. You know?
you.
Damn. Yeah,
Man,
this question is kind of
that's
intricate.
a good one. Repeat it.
If you could undo
Undo
one
it.
moment
One
in your
moment.
life, what would it be?
One moment.
Damn.
One moment.
Get it back.
You can undo it. You can do it all over again.
Man. to get
Danny,
it
you got-
back and
you-
redo it, it's hard to think of. I say I wouldn't, but
It's
I
okay.
mean, like leaving
Leaving Long Beach?
Long Beach.
No, but if you didn't leave Long Beach though, you
then I
wouldn't
wouldn't
have all
yeah.
these businesses.
So anything that I say is almost like then the other stuff does
Something will-
Maybe when you were
What-
younger. How about something when you
Oh,
were younger?
okay, I'm younger.
It could be at any time, any moment in your life,
Any moment when I'm younger.
any moment in your life.
Well, there have been some. Oh no, I can't even say I would take. It's not that I would take it back. It's just it's so important to have it
Yeah.
happen in the grand scheme of things. You know, nobody can draw that up and say
Yeah.
where it's going to go from there.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if I would take anything like just to change. I mean, picking the wrong numbers, man. Playing in Vegas, and if I knew it was gonna be 21, I probably
That's
would've-
the only one.
Yeah, that's the only one. I mean, I'm gonna think, but I can't think of anything. And I know that's like so like cliche, but like there's just been like all the stuff. It goes into each thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything
no,
kind
I
of
got
happened
you.
for
Yeah, I
a
wonder if
reason.
that-
Happened for a reason.
Yeah, if
got
that
you.
doesn't happen, then do I know this? You know, I mean, I got to say like business, like hiring someone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Nothing that like
That counts.
killed anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, ooh, that was
Oh,
a bad idea.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I gotta read on some other stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, I will say. Yeah, actually.
Okay.
And this ain't even like, because me and dude, even like to this day, we talk. You know what I mean? Like it's like cool vibes. But and I know I learned from that. But I would love to see how that wouldn't have been if we didn't do like this partnership like this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like it was like there's a certain window to do certain stuff and grab the market. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you can do it the right way, and that's what a lot of you see these texts, like they're just trying to grab the market.
Yeah,
Throw the bikes out there on the street. We don't care about the regulations. See what happens.
Yeah.
That would be it. Wonder what would happen if we just went left and didn't do that at all.
Got you.
Thinking like this was better, because when we first opened, there were people coming who were like investors, and it was like, oh yeah, like we want to invest. And we sat down and took meetings and did this, and then
Yeah, got
I
you.
think I say that like, okay, what if we like didn't finagle with that, but then like if you build it yourself, it's
Yeah.
slower because then there's
Yeah,
no telling
exactly.
like how we could have expanded right away to get those other ones.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I would say that maybe.
Okay, for sure.
Gotcha. What you got, Danny?
Actually, I do got one. You remember when we went to a Home Depot, and this Mexican family had a dog?
Oh no!
Do you remember that?
Yo,
I wouldn't have took the dog.
Yeah,
That's what I would undo.
They were sitting out there.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
this
I
was
remember
during
this.
the crash.
Okay, I remember
and a
this.
lot of people were giving away pets and animals and
Yeah.
I remember
everything.
this. You guys came back with a
dog.
Like what?
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah,
Yo,
just came
remember
back with a
that?
dog.
That was
Okay.
so random.
So it's funny
That
he
was
says
random.
that. Man, my boy to this day will be like, "B, I can't believe you." Like, man, we didn't know any better. But
We didn't know any
We're on the
better.
Yeah,
fourth
yeah.
floor in the condo.
Yeah.
You gotta take the dog down.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dog
it's
ain't
a lot
got
of
no
work.
home training. Go to work.
he got
not
no.
spending time eating up
Wait,
stuff.
so
It was
you would have
bad.
not taken a dog?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have
Is it-
taken it. I would have just left it.
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
I
That
feel
was
bad because I
No, but-
ended up having to take it to the pound
Oh, did you?
because I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I had no time for it.
You weren't ready for it.
I wasn't, but
The
I just
dog
felt
at the
bad
time.
for the
Yeah, yeah,
dog
yeah.
and the family, and I was just
Mhm.
like, should we take this, B? B was just like, you gonna take care of it? I was like, yes.
He's like, sure.
Yo, that was so crazy though. But
God.
I would go back and I wish maybe the dog could have been to a better family. You know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
to this day, I named him
damn.
King too. I feel
That's
sad.
messed up.
I still remember that shit.
It's kind of messed up.
Yeah, man.
It's a learning experience.
Wow,
man.
It's a learning experience, you
Now
know.
you
But
want-
now I treat my dogs like family,
Like
and
your
shit,
kids,
so
yeah.
more responsible now.
Responsible.
I just
Yeah.
felt bad, man.
You should.
Yeah, that's all bad.
How about you, fella? What'd you change?
So I actually had time to think about this one. This one, I would say, growing up, if I could change something, I would listen to older people a lot more than I did growing up, because I would be I was a hothead, and I just didn't want to listen to anyone. I was just kind of doing my own thing, not
Yeah.
caring about what my older siblings were telling me, or like aunt, uncles and stuff like that, or even just people that a little bit older were giving me advice. I was like, nah, I'm not here for this. So I would change that, man. I should have been listening to people since I was younger.
Yeah.
Now I'm listening to people. I'm like, damn, I should have been listening to people when I was younger. What's wrong with me? You know what I mean? But yeah, stuff like that. It just, you don't think about those things when you're young, but when you get older, you're like, damn, I wish I would have listened to more people.
Facts.
So yeah,
Nice.
that's what I would have changed.
Sure.
That's a good one. Yeah, feel it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's hard to get through.
Yeah.
Until when you get through to him,
Yeah.
though, it's good. But
Yeah.
a little hard. He look at you like, nah.
Yeah,
He's like an everlasting gobstopper.
Wow.
I pick and choose now. I pick and choose. You know what I mean? It has.
I know.
It gotta make sense for me to listen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
That's a good
wise.
one.
We call him philosophical. I know everybody knows
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's wise.
exactly.
It's wise.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a good one. If you can send a message to the entire world, what would you say in 30 seconds?
Oh gosh. 30 seconds, huh?
Should I put a timer on?
30 seconds. Put on a timer. 30 seconds. What would you say to the world?
In 30 seconds.
Man. I mean, you say this stuff all the time, B.
He's trying to find a
You
best
tell
one
us
right now.
stuff all within like 15
30
seconds.
seconds to the world.
To the world,
Hey,
bro.
you give us advice in 10 seconds and we understand exactly what you're talking about.
To the world. I mean, the only thing I can think of is 30 seconds to the world.
Talk to the world right now, bro.
30 seconds to the world.
Talk
if I
to the
was
world.
to say something, is that there needs to be a, how do I say it? I know it's just like come together and all that stuff, but there really needs to be like some sort of, I would say, a real healing, a real fix for all the like the stuff that has been done. You know what I mean? For like this nation to be built, and I don't say that just for like America. I know this is gonna go off the hinges, but like I just think like there needs to be some sort of thing where it's like, hey, this needs to be like really repaired in a sense of there's too much like that the killings, all that stuff that keeps happening. That's something I can, like I say, I can touch on as a youth, young, growing up to even now. Like it's because of things that we could change. It's because of like an older system that still is kind of like under there. Yeah. I would say that needs to like just be stopped. I think people need to live in different spots, learn. I think people need to live around different cultures and learn.
And, that's key.
Just to be like able to understand, like, you know what I mean? Because like, like there's beauty in everything. You know what I mean? And like you'll learn a lot more. I think so. If everyone could, if I would say that to the world, like, hey, someone needs to set up a system where people can all do that. Like, there's so much more to learn.
Let's do this, B. 30 seconds, right? Like, B, speak to the world.
Speak to the world.
He just gave us like 2 minutes.
No, he said what he would talk about.
Oh,
right?
okay. So speak to them.
Speak to them right now. Like, hello, world. And you got 30 seconds.
The podium is yours.
Podium is yours.
If I have 30 seconds, the podium is mine to the world.
The asteroid is coming, bro.
That, but,
you got 30 seconds. Asteroid is coming.
For anybody out there that wants to figure out how to do something, doesn't know, doesn't have an answer, reach out. I'm down to help you. That's probably the biggest thing that I could offer, to be honest. And from that, hopefully that grows into something else that can get to anything else if someone else wants to have that idea. But like, I'm giving that out just like literally to anybody. I know people that do come to me already know it, but I'll say that. That's what really BG Inspired is about. Like, I'm here to just tell you, like, hey, Like, yeah, you can do that. There is a way to do that. I've been in plenty of things where I thought I couldn't, or there's no way that should happen, but it can.
Yep.
And that's my 30 seconds. So anybody, like, feel free, get at me.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Yes.
Yep. Down. Okay.
Go ahead, Phil. You got 30 seconds, man. Speak to the world, bro. What you going to tell
I would
them?
just tell everyone.
No, you talking to them right now.
Hey guys, look, listen up here, guys. Pay attention. No, I'm just kidding. But look, man, look, we're living in a tough time right now. We're living in a different time, a dark time, you can say. But look, we're going through this pandemic, and I hope everyone stays healthy and take care of their families. But look, this is the thing. You got to see on a positive side. You can't just take this whole year 2020 as just something negative and just kind of dwell on it and let it affect you and your family and your loved ones. You got to make the best of it, man. Do something different. Go ahead and challenge yourself. Go outside. Do something, spend time with your family, your parents, and just be there for one another. And if there's someone that you haven't talked to in a long time, reach out to them. Say, hey, I miss you, or say, I love you. That's something that I've been learning to do because my parents been getting older. They're getting sick, and who knows how long they're going to live for. Same thing with like friends, family, people die left and right, man. So I think just kind of don't let the negativity dwell on it. Don't dwell on the negativity and like make the best of it, man. Spend time with your family, your loved ones, and tell people you love them. So
hell yeah.
I think that was 40 seconds, but
thank you for your 30 seconds. Appreciate
That was
that.
good.
Man.
That was good.
That was good. The world.
But yeah,
heard you.
man. Yeah, let's take care of one another. Be
Hell yeah,
nice.
for
Be
sure.
happy.
For sure.
What you got, Danny?
Hello, world.
I'm turning off the
I just
TV.
wanna tell
Once
you
they heard, I'm
guys.
turning the TV off.
I just want to tell you guys, hug your loved ones.
Yeah.
Ladies out there, if you by yourself, hang out with a friend.
Yeah.
Don't be lonely.
Guys, take care of your ladies.
Take care of your ladies.
And fellas, if you see a lady walking by, say hi. Don't be shy.
Stupid.
All right?
Say hi. Don't be shy. Okay.
But hey, man, just,
Don't be shy.
That doesn't apply to you, Danny. So
public.
not right now, at least.
People, I just think people, you guys should, you see somebody walk by, say good morning.
Yeah.
You see somebody, passing you by, say hello. People like to ignore each other, man. I think people just need to start interacting a little more.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it starts opening up their minds, man. Just, your neighbor you probably never even spoke to.
Absolutely.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, neighbor.
Not just like walking past each other, like, I just think, bring back interaction, man. That's it.
Interaction.
Bring back interaction.
You're absolutely right.
That's my 30 seconds.
There you go. I like
Go
that.
smack some booty.
Awesome. There we go. So all right, man. Yeah. So, B.
Hey, thank y'all for having me on the show.
Free, man. We appreciate you coming on here.
Before we go into that, any last words or anything you want to say before we?
It's just thank y'all for having me on the show. First of all,
sure.
Like I
We
said,
appreciate that.
Just knowing y'all and what y'all putting together, and in the stuff that you guys have done and are gonna do is always like it's dope to be like, man, I know those guys. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they have a history. Besides that, keep following these guys. Stay tuned. I already know it's bigger and better. Hey, anybody want to tap in?
Tap in.
Welcome. IG BG Inspired.
Yes, sir.
BG Inspired.
Inspired by all is the
You
website.
spell that out just in
Yeah,
case
right.
people can't spell that.
I'll put it somewhere.
Well, I'll put it in our bio.
Put it in the bio. And besides that, too, hey, if you're looking to do anything with a home,
Yeah.
you wanna figure
Oh
out
yeah,
how
yeah.
to
Reach
make-
out. He's a real estate agent now.
If you want to make sure, like, how to do an investment, even if you like, a lot of people I've been coming to or friends too, like, well, I don't have everything put together. Like, okay, well, let me show you how to be creative. Let me show you how to partner and get this still done. Because
Hell yeah.
you don't have to come in with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And there's ways to do that. So
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
learn about that.
Appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Appreciate that, bro.
You, fam. What you got from Bang?
Oh, man, I know it's Sunday, man. Get holy out there, fellas.
Yeah. But no,
Peace
man.
be with you.
We just want to say thank you for coming on the show, man. Hey, man, we've been wanting to have you come on.
Yes, for a
you
minute,
were
bro.
yeah.
And we appreciate you driving down from NorCal.
For all
with
of
your
us from
son.
NorCal, man. That's how you know this man's committed,
Yeah, doing this thing.
and he
for
cares
sure.
about us.
And he about to go home after
He cares
this.
about. I know that's crazy. You driving all the way back. That's crazy. But yeah, man, we just want to say thank you for just being a positive role model to the both of
sure.
us, and not only to the both of us, but to our friends and stuff like that too.
Yep.
Just being inspiring and just being our big bro. So
Yep.
Thank you for that, man. Thank you always for looking out for us. We appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir.
Always,
100% to the fullest. But also, don't forget, you were a big part of this podcast too, because So just real briefly, I mean, me and Danny's always been talking about doing this podcast for the last couple of years. But when I went on the Instagram live with you, that one, just from that point on, I just told Danny, I was like, man, we got to do this podcast now. Because me and you, we went on the Instagram live. We had a great conversation about Black Lives Matters and stuff like that. And just from that point on, I was like, yeah, man. I told Danny, we got to do this shit. So that was kind of like the beginning of this podcast. Yes, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was dope, too, to bring that up and do that. And then I think I was telling you guys before this jumped on, like, you guys just really like, okay, you were serious. Boom, execute.
Yep,
and
execute.
Like, that's the stuff that I like really
execution.
like and try to tell people, too.
Execution.
Like, just do it. Get the setup and go do it. Everything else is going to come. You know, that saying, if you build it, they will come. Is like it's just real as it gets. You know what I mean? You just start and you'll be amazed at what happens. So
If you want something, go and do it. Don't make any excuses. Just do it.
Don't get it.
Don't let anything get in the way. Just do it. Any last words, Danny? What you got for us?
We had how many last words we had already?
A few more. a few more.
Man, just stay tuned in, man. Session Up Podcast. You know where we're at, man. So
you know,
keep it pushing. Keep it pushing.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.